You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
All personnel, clear the launch platform.
The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 139. Sorry that I made a mistake in the last episode. I called it 137, but that was really 138. So tonight is 139. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here. Sitting to the left of me, virtually and literally, but virtually, the game changer herself, Jess.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to hear your guys' voices.
Nice to hear your voice, too. I'm sure we've got many listeners like, oh, where's Jess been? So you can tell us what's going on with you in a minute. But to the right of me is the trail master of puppets himself, Udi.
Good evening.
Good evening,
I don't miss
sir.
her voice. I hear it every day.
Yes.
That's fine, though. It's okay.
For those of you just discovering us, welcome. We think you'll find the water to be warm. For you repeat listeners, you repeat offenders out there, you crazy Disneylanders, welcome home. Mm-hmm. We're glad you're here. Tonight's episode is brought to you by you guys, the Patreon listeners. Hey, if you want to support the show, if you want to kind of leave us a tip like you would a server or your barista or whatever, you totally can. We make it super simple for you. LeavingTodayPodcast.com. Click on the Patreon logo, and you can do a $1, a $3, or $5 donation. One-time payment or a monthly subscription, whatever. But we give really good swag, so just kind of twisting your arm to do that. And then for that, you get to be on the show, which is another bonus thing that we like to do here. And if you'd like to buy a T-shirt, you can totally do that, too. We have that on our website. Also on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. We have everything on our link tree. Hey, tonight's episode, we have a special guest on. We're going to get to that in a little bit. We think you guys are really going to enjoy him a lot. Mm-hmm. But tonight, again, Jess has been busy. She's been a busy girl doing college things and working and doing life. But as we said before, she hasn't chopped off the face of the earth. But she hasn't been on the show, but we've seen her from time to time. So she's still alive, which is good.
I am alive.
Yes, you are. And she's counting money or something right now. I don't know what she's doing. But Decorating, which is what she should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jess, what have you been doing? The LTB listeners want to know what has the Game Changers been doing.
She's been working.
Yeah.
Working. And did I mention working?
Yeah, working.
Yeah, that's really pretty much all I've been up to. I've just been trying to, make life great again.
Make life great again. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna pick your.
Nothing too crazy.
Okay, well, we're going to pick your brain on a couple things. We might do the random. Actually, we will do the randomizer.
We are.
But you know what? We did the randomizer with our guest.
We did. But I feel like we need to do we need a double?
Well, in episode that just came out, we did a double because you and I did one, then we did it with our guest.
Oh.
We did.
Okay, then We're going to have to save it. We can't overdo that.
Yeah, the randomizer just shows up. I have no control whenever. But so we could do it four times. But we still need to pick your brain on a couple of things as well.
Okay.
But first, we had a pre-show, a live show, and
as we do now. So just for everybody now, we're coming into a spot where we're falling into probably every other Monday, Sunday, where we're hopping on maybe a half hour, 45 minutes before we actually sit down and hit record. So for all you people on IG, keep an eye out. We're hopping on there more and more, and we're making kind of a usual thing.
Yep.
We were just on before, the episode we were before.
Yeah.
And then the one before that, I was outdoors. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of all over the place.
That's all a precursor to whenever we do end up going to the live stuff. I've been talking about it for a while, but I am going to do it.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. We will do it at some point. I got to figure that out. Anyways, Efren had a question. He wants to know what attraction would we bring back? One that is not there right now. I think we've done this a few times, which it's always good to revisit this because see where we are with that. What attraction would we bring back?
I got mine.
I've got mine.
Okay, you guys can go ahead because that's a hard one for me.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
Well, it's going to be one of two things.
Yeah.
So if I pick one, I know you're going to pick the other one. But I'm going to have to stay with my original answer was Skyway. Okay, you can pick Skyway.
Okay.
No,
No, you're fine.
Because I can pick the People Mover because
that was the other one.
Okay.
So you and me, I'm like, well, I'll just say People Mover because that's what Mark's going to say.
You guys are on the same page.
Always.
Well, see, the People Mover always gets love. You know, they always talk about how cool it was just to relax, kick back there, and get an overview of the whole of that, at least the Tomorrowland area. Do you remember going on the People Mover, Jess? Were you around with that?
I never did. Nope.
Okay. You know, one of the things that was really cool about that People Mover, besides the Tron Speed Tunnel, was going on it, and I know I said this before, is going on it at night when it would be over like the lagoon, and you get to meander through the back then. It was like the submarine voyage,
yeah.
And then at night it was in the monorails over your head,
yeah.
And up and Octopi's
cool.
Buzzing by and Matterhorn, and it was just a beautiful thing to be out there. Doing on the People Mover, but I'm gonna so we've got that. We've got Skyway, which is just incredible. I wish we could bring both of those back. Yeah.
You know, the easier one by far would be People Mover, and yeah, Skyway though, R.I.P. Always in my heart, never forgotten. Always. Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Oh, okay. That would help if I was laughing.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, now I am.
I know what to say. I'm not stupid.
Anyway, I was going to be mean, but we're going to move forward.
Jazz?
Yeah.
So, see, most of the attractions, does it have to be in Disneyland?
No.
Tower of Terror.
Really?
So what I was going to, but that is my answer. But what I was going to say was a lot of the attractions that I always rode are still there.
Yeah.
I haven't really had anything ripped away from me. Like super, you know what I mean? Like I haven't had to suffer that loss.
Yeah.
So Tower, because like that was kind of the first big like thrill ride that I rode in the parks.
Yeah.
So it would have to be Tower. That or, which it wasn't even there when the first time I was there. It would be Captain EO. Because that was so much freaking fun. And
didn't you work it or the revival when it came back? Why do I think you did? I don't know why.
Did Michael Jackson work it?
No, you.
Oh, yes. So that's what I was going to say was because it wasn't, I never wrote it the first go around. It was gone before. But when he passed away, they brought it back as a tribute. And so I got to work it, but I got to be some of the test dummies that got to sit while they were trying to test out the hydraulics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did it multiple times. It would shut off, and we were like, nope, that was too bumpy, or no, that wasn't enough, and then we would just go again. And so after a while, you started to get nauseous because it was just so much. But I would bring that back solely for the memory of getting to be one of the test people. So, yeah.
So you're telling me you're a real life test dummy?
I mean, you're just now learning that?
No. I was trying to be nice.
Alrighty.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, well, you sucked at it. Okay?
Apparently.
So
I've been accused of that often.
Captain EO, huh?
Captain EO, hands down.
Wow. All right. I you know what? Honestly, I prefer that to Tower Terror. Believe it or not.
Oh, I do.
Udi, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because
That doesn't surprise me.
Because you're totally okay with Guardians of the Galaxy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
Well, I mean, Guardians is great, guys. Please don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. I get you wrong all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was ignoring that comment.
I know.
It's just not Tower. It was just, that was the first thing, like the first ride that we got that was just like kind of for big kids, other than Screamin'. But Screamin' is a coaster, so it's like I don't even count that as the type of attraction, because then we lost Maliboomer because they took Maliboomer from us.
Yes, they did.
And put in that stupid ride. Anyways, moving on.
Okay, so that is our answers then. Thank you, Efren, for bringing that up.
You're welcome. See, you guys act like you miss me, but do you know, it's just full of interruptions and nonsense.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No.
Constantly.
Okay, so before we get to the news, Jess, we did not hear your comment on Magic Keys. We didn't hear your comment on. I know that we may have talked offline or something about it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But
Probably.
what are your thoughts on Magic Keys, and which one are you likely to get, if any? And
I've been looking at them.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the money. I want one.
Okay.
But I just can't bring myself to do it right now.
Well,
I don't know what's going on. I'm just waiting for them to make some changes. There's nothing that really stands out and I'm like, oh, this is stupid kind of thing.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait a little bit.
You're going to wait to see if they tweak them, the plans a little bit?
Precisely.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. What are your changes that you speak of?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked into them like a drastic, crazy amount.
Okay.
I don't know if I got one.
Yeah.
It would probably be the most expensive one because that's just when I do Disney, I just go all the way.
Yep.
And I'm not ready to make that commitment with what they're offering.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
Okay. That's kind of where I'm sitting right now. The one I was looking at was, I think, the Believe.
Yep.
That the second to the bottom.
Enchant.
Oh, the Enchant.
See, I don't even know the names of them. That's how much I don't care.
One's called the Despair Key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're not even allowed to go.
Yeah.
You just
that would be the Southern California Key because their blackout dates are stupid.
I want one that just has every day blacked out, but I want the privilege of saying I have an annual pass.
Yeah.
Wait, they have that?
No. The SoCal Pass.
I was about to hang up.
The SoCal Pass, when you look at the blackout dates, is stupid. Not even.
No, it's very dumb.
Yeah, no.
I was gonna use the R word, but I didn't.
Yeah, it is very much
restricted. You mean?
Yeah,
is that
very restricted.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I think per our last episode, talking to Christy, she lives there, and even she's like, yeah, dude, you can't do that. Even for, you have to be, so her situation obviously is a little bit different because of where she lives down there. But then looking at the rest of the people, you literally got to be a half an hour, 45-minute shot from the park to even make it worth your while.
For the $3.99?
Yeah, for the bottom end one, the SoCal. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, Jess?
That's why they did it.
No.
People are going to look at it and say that it's stupid, And then what are they going to do?
Go
They're
up
gonna
one.
Buy the next one.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Even for remember I said for the SoCal one, they don't even let you use the bathrooms in the park.
Yeah.
No, you can't even use the bathrooms,
Yeah.
Mark, and you have to pay $1 to ride every ride.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, that was just kind of like, hey, we see you out there. We're gonna when people say, hey, it's like the least I can do. This is the least that they could do.
Yeah, I think if there's a even like a lower level of least I can do, I think they attained it with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They did.
it's pretty ridiculous. That's why the next one's a chant, believe, and then I think the top one is dream.
The dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would be, according to Jess's own criteria, that would be the one she's leaning towards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That comes with parking.
Yeah.
Which I never need.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't buy the most expensive ones anymore, because I don't need parking.
Yeah. And you know
I
that.
just want the days. Give me an extra day. I'll trade my parking for an extra day of my choice.
Well, and that was the interesting thing. Remember that when the cafeteria style was rumored, that would have been epic. I think logistically for Disney would have been very difficult. Oh, I don't even know if it would be that difficult for them. You write up the right program. Mark, you could probably write the right program for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did Rise of the Resistance. Do you think coming up with some software solution for a ticket program is a stretch?
That's beyond them.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no way we can do that.
Good point.
But
like, no.
I mean, on that questionnaire that they sent out in the summer, that they had like many different variants of APs that they were throwing around, and that like pick a plan would have been great. Because
like pick and pull.
Yeah, pick and pull. I mean, there are some things that might be important to me that are not important to Udi or Jess or vice versa.
Yep.
I don't care about PhotoPass so much.
No, I don't care about I don't need PhotoPass. I have an expensive iPhone.
Yeah.
Yes. I can do that on my own.
Yes. Well, okay. So to sum it up, when you do have the money, you thinking you might want to get the Dream Key, the most expensive, but you want to see if some other stuff drops out of it.
I want to see if some things drop.
Yes, yes, I agree with that too. And I think they will. I think there may be some modifications to changing things, and there might be like a fifth one added somewhere. Because there's between $649 and $999. There's a gap for $800 range in there somewhere, which could be interesting. Jess, what are your thoughts? And I'm guessing I already know about Genie Plus.
You didn't even have to say it.
Oh, Jess, we've missed you so much.
I think that it's totally unfair and I can't even figure out why, California's is 20 and Florida's is 15.
I got your answer.
Well, I know you do, but so no, it's stupid. It's not going to last. I feel like they're going to get a lot of pushback.
They already are.
I don't know if it's going to be enough pushback for them to actually, what's the word I want to use?
Change it. Rethink it.
To rectify the situation.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, here, let me be a beacon of hope for you. Okay.
Who are you? Oh, you're going to be a beacon of hope?
Yeah, I know.
Well, we're screwed.
I know it's rare. It's rare for me to do
LTP
that.
listeners, you're in trouble if Udi is the
beacon of hope.
If Udi's the beacon of hope, so this ship's going down.
I'm really afraid. Yeah, no. I got a life jacket right now.
I'm on the captain of the Titanic, going. Everything is fine.
Yeah, you are.
Everything is fine.
Okay, so let's see what kind of
band played on. Don't worry about the guy taking the silverware.
Lord have mercy.
So a lot have since they announced the Genie program. We talked about it in the previous episode.
Yes.
And we're kind of like, and I did my deep breath, and then I know, Jess, you haven't heard it. I went on a nice long rant.
Udi rant?
Yeah, I went on a me rant, and you know what? That almost brought back my soapbox. Literally almost brought back a Patreon soapbox.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, I had other things going on. Anyway, so I follow channels and I look at YouTube channels, and there's different things that are of people who are, avid park goers. The pushback that the Disney loyal people like you, like us, has been pronounced. They are getting roasted and ratioed into oblivion whenever they bring it up.
Yeah.
So what it means is that on YouTube, everything is like 3 to 4 or 5 times downvoted. Like no. I'm pretty sure that the numbers, the initial numbers coming in for when they release that, which I don't even know when they are. I don't think did they give a date?
They said fall sometime.
Yeah, I think by the time fall ends, or by the time they're ready to release it, I think they'll have enough already negative feedback to alter a few things. That being said, if they don't correct it all the way, I would not be surprised if the numbers for that app are so abysmal that they just drop it. Or remove that whole the biggest point of contention is the Lightning Plus, in my mind.
Yeah, that's it. That thing's a joke.
Yeah, the Lightning Plus, and then only being able to handle one max pass or one fast pass at a time. We never had that stipulation. We had 2. We could get 2.
No, you had 1, and then you had to wait 2 hours.
Right, and then get another one.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting that you say that
now
because
you can't do that.
No, we were saying that's what the time frame was. So if you book, like I said, let's say we get to the park at 10 or whatever, and we book a fast pass for 11:40. We can't book another thing until 12.
No, it's 2 hours. So
Yeah, so 12 or 2 hours after the attraction.
After you get it. So so let's say you get a fast pass at 11. You can't get another one until 1.
Yeah, but you could hold at that point. You could hold 2.
What do you mean? You can hold 2?
It was when the window. It was a 2-hour window, wasn't it?
No,
I can't remember.
Think so.
Then why do I remember constantly having 2 in my queue?
I'm going as far back as before there was an app.
Oh no! I remember that, but I remember. having 2.
But I remember on the
paper.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I wish I had the answer.
I don't have the answer to that either.
Remember.
So now though with Genie Plus, you can get 2, right? One at a time. And as soon as you go and check into that, then you can get another one?
From what I read.
Okay.
And then you can use it for Rise, right?
No, not that one.
Not that one, okay.
No, there's only select attractions that are going to be available for Genie Plus, and then the Lightning Lane is going to have a different slew of attractions.
Okay.
Which is going to be an upcharge, depending on what you want to do.
Wait, Disney's going to do an upcharge?
Yeah.
No way.
Way. I know. Shocking, right?
Wow. I am, you know what? I am so shocked.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole Lightning Lane thing is the one that's just so stupid to me.
Oh yeah, no, that one is going to find an exit, I believe. Again, I made the comment when we brought up the whole point that they announced that they were going to do something like that in Disneyland Paris, and we're like, yeah, I can see that doing that over here, but it will not fly over here, and I am still in that frame of thought. It will not work here.
No, that thing.
I really hope you're right.
Right.
I mean, you can save that for Six Flags or something like that. That's a Six Flags thing to me. Their Flash Pass, whatever they're calling it there. You pay
That's exactly what it is. Or Universal when you pay to, jump the lines.
Yes. Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's not.
That is my answer to your question in a very long roundabout way.
Right. Okay. Good. What is the problem with bringing back Max Pass for $20, or adding it to your AP for $150?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know
What's the problem, Jess?
No, they're just not making enough money.
They're not making enough money. That's the problem.
So
that's the problem.
Yeah, we talked about it before, like recognizing that the park has lost billions. We talked about where are they going to try to shore that up and try to regain some of that loss? And I remember before before we even opened, we were worried about, okay, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with admission price? What are they going to do with food? What are they going to do with AP? What are they going to do with anything? And we knew, we all had a feeling that they're going to try to go somewhere to try to recoup something. I think this is their first step in that direction, and they're getting their hands and their fingers getting gnawed off right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so before we get to the news, Jess did disappear mysteriously, and then she reappeared.
You got to tell them the story, though.
Oh, yes. Tell me the story.
How I did it?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to tell the story?
I can tell it.
You can tell. All right, you can tell.
I'll go fast.
Okay.
So
Knock it off, Udi.
that's what he said. Okay, so anyway, so I had a trip planned for, I would say probably about 2 weeks. It was a short notice. My mom texted me, asked if I wanted to go. She's taking the girls. So
Go where?
On a hike.
On a hike. Hold on.
On a hike.
Let it go.
So let it go. So the day before my trip, I decided that I was going to text Mark and Udi and let them know that I was going to take a day to myself and I was going to go for a drive. So I told them, I'm going to go for a drive and, I don't know which direction I'm going, but I'll let y'all know, X, Y, Z. So I get on an airplane and I fly to Disneyland to meet my family. They all drove. So I was going to have about 6.5, 7 hours to myself in the park, which I was very much looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called, or I text the boys in our group text, and I said, I think I'm lost. And I was waiting I was going to do a double FaceTime, but I think Mark was on a business call, so I couldn't get through to him. So I called Udi after I said, I think I'm lost. And I was standing in front of the Pelican.
Yep.
In the park. And I was like, well, if I'm doing anything, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all the way. I got to go to Galaxy's Edge, which I've always said in my entire life, that will never be the first place that I go. It was. So you're welcome. So yeah, I went to Disneyland for 3 days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I went to Disneyland for 3 days. I flew there, and then I drove home with them because I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of money on an airline ticket, and I had enough points to get there for $11. Or no, $6. My flight was $6. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Because I had the points. So yeah, so that is what I did. I flew to Disneyland and spent 3 days with my family. I got a whole day by myself, which was nice, much needed.
Did you cry at all? Did you get emotional?
You did.
No, I didn't.
I could have sworn you did. I can't remember when. Oh, no, I remember. No.
It was when she saw the ticket prices
No.
for Magic Key.
No.
That was what it was.
No, I'm getting confused when we went because we had that conversation about at what moment you cried and at what moment I kind of got emotional. Yeah.
When you cried. Nope.
I didn't cry. I got emotional.
I did not cry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I will. There are a couple things that you kind of forgot in there. She hammed up the drive part.
Yeah.
Because
I definitely did.
Yeah, in true fashion with me and Mark, with Mark and I, when it comes to Jess, we're both kind of like big brothers to her.
Yeah.
So, the big brother instinct comes in okay, well, good. Okay, glad you're going to go take a drive. We all need time every once in a while. Just, go find a little, quiet corner and be with yourself. I will do that too. I'll go ride by myself at times and just go off into nowhere and just,
To nowhere in particular?
Yeah, nowhere in particular. Literally get on my bike and just wherever my feet and the handlebars lead. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. And then then we begin asking the question, well, where do you think you're going to go? You're going to go east, you're going to go west. We think, oh, you want to go to the mountains? Do you want to go to the beach, ocean?
And Mark got it because I was like, I'm going to go, I'm going south that morning. I said, I ended up south. And Mark's like, to Disneyland?
Yeah. He's like, Anaheim?
This little stinker.
Yeah. She's like, Mark is like, Anaheim? And I'm like, no, she didn't do that.
Oh, see, I thought you already knew all this.
No, I had no idea. She played both.
I was guessing the whole time.
Yeah, no, I had no idea.
I played both of you guys like a fiddle.
Yeah, she did. It was pretty bad. So, and then when she said, I think I'm lost, I think we both went, uh-oh, where you at? My spidey sense went off. I'm like, oh, am I getting in my car? Where you at? Am I getting in my car? Am I driving to pull you out of a ditch? What am I doing here?
Right. Where are you?
Yeah. And then you FaceTime me. I'm like, did I not swear at you profusely?
I think you said, oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then I started laughing.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I started laughing.
I think And so I've been planning this for a few days.
Yeah.
And like on how I was going to tell, like what I was going to do, like try to fool you guys. And I told Shannon, I said, I think I'm going to text them and say I'm lost. And then if they respond and are like, oh, well, where are you? And I was going to say something along the lines of like, I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm really far, far away.
Oh.
Because I was in Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, then I would have got it then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was a great trip. I walked Avengers Campus.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started on Avengers Campus. Don't get me started on the web slinger.
No.
Unimpressed.
It is the
I'll leave it there.
dumbest thing they could have ever done.
Oh, but I think we knew that going into it.
We did, but it was, Mark, I had like this much of an expectation.
Yeah.
She's measuring about like a quarter inch.
Yes, like just a little. I was hoping for something.
Yeah. But wasn't the tech kind of cool?
No.
Okay.
I think it is all the dumbest thing that they have ever done.
Yeah.
One, you get tired because you're flinging your damn arm like consistently because you're trying to shoot stuff, or you can just spend more money and get a super duper handy little Spidey gun thing. And it's just dumb. But the Spider-Man show was incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, you did tell me about that one, and you loved that one. Yeah.
I sent you guys the video.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, that was my little pre to Disneyland trip that no one knew about.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm glad you got to go.
Me too, because it'll be a while now, because I ain't gonna deal with these magic key holder people.
Right on. Okay, well, let's go to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
All right. Tonight's a little bit different. Udi's handling the news, so we have no idea what it's going to be.
Lord have mercy.
He's looking up stuff. Does that news feed? We should talk about Pelican's Landing real quick.
Okay, that's in here. I was going to cover
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun here.
All right, so let me begin here.
Yes.
Last episode that we reported that I saw with my own two eyes, that in the middle of the Esplanade, there were...
The Esplanada.
The it's Esplanade.
I'm joking.
No, I corrected that. There were, the magic walls were up. And I remember, like I said, like Chris and I said, like we're walking and we're like, what? Why are these up? Like in the middle of the Esplanade, they were up. So as of a couple days ago, they're down.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. What did they do?
What did they do?
You can't tell.
Okay.
No one knows. It looks the same. They thought maybe it was tile repair or concrete repair or anything.
There could have been some pipe work underground.
It could have been any number of things, but overall on the surface, it looks the same.
Okay.
So yeah. So even though like like I said, we had that query of like what's going on over here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they gonna change the tile work? Are they gonna change the middle? Nope. So, and that is that. So we'll go there. So the other thing that I will go now to is the Pelican's Landing. This one, Mark and I kind of briefly talked about it. Pelican's Landing is getting a dining area. So to me, I'm like both Mark and I. Jess, have you heard about this?
I've seen the pictures.
There might be some people that are going, what is Pelican's Landing and where is it?
Okay, for everybody who doesn't, and seriously, if you don't know where Pelican's Landing is,
they may not know.
We need to have a conversation. Okay, Pelican's Landing is right across, if you want to say, is right where Haunted is, and you come out, look straight across.
It's right where they parked the Columbia.
Columbia, exactly. So the things you get there are basically those bowls out of there. So
Soup bowls.
Yeah, Jess, don't you get something out of there from time to time?
When on this last trip, that's what I treated myself to lunch to.
Yep.
I got the broccoli cheddar, and it
Yep.
was the worst soup I had ever had from Disneyland.
They did.
Why
bad. I
was
wonder
it?
why.
What was wrong with it?
It had very little flavor,
Oh no, I hate
and the
that.
bread bowl kind of tasted
Old?
stale.
Oh no. You know, and you know what? Okay, so I'm gonna go here real quick. I think that is going to be a problem that we're going to run across a lot for a little bit, and it has to do, and it has nothing to do, I don't think, with Disney as the company. I don't think they're trying to do anything to try to cut a corner, shirk anything. I really think in the real world, the food and shortages are becoming a real thing.
Can I attest to that really fast?
Yeah, how you're running out of stuff in your restaurant, right? Is it difficult to get things ordered over at your job?
No, we're not having a problem there. But I went to Jack in the Box for lunch today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought of Mark.
True LTP style.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go to Jack in the Box. I'm going to get some tacos.
Oh, wow.
And no
Okay.
taco.
They're out of tacos.
Taco.
Really?
I was like, all right, then I will just get some chicken nuggets. They're out of chicken nuggets.
Wow.
Which
No nuggies,
one
huh?
did you go to?
Greenback and Fair Oaks.
Oh, right around here. Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, fine. I'll have some egg, because I love their egg rolls. I was like, I'll get their egg rolls. They were out of egg rolls.
Mm-hmm.
They were out of curly fries. They were out of large soda cups.
Mm-hmm.
They were out of grilled chicken for their sandwiches.
Yep.
So I ended up with some weird, nasty-ass burger that ended up feeding to my parents' dogs because it was disgusting.
Oh, no.
So anyways, yeah. I can attest to you, like, yeah, Udi, it's going to be a problem for some time.
Yeah, we're all going to run into that problem where quality of food, quantity, and you know, Disney has always had that. You know, how do you strike the balance between quality and quantity and everything? The sheer amount of food that they go through. I would love to see those numbers. I would love it. I think I'd have a good time just rolling around and like, ooh, there's that. But anyway, so yeah, I think this is going to be a problem we're all going to have to deal with for a minute.
Yep.
Sad to say, but like even when we went, Jess, when we ate our food, it was good. Nothing to write home about.
But I was going to say, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you what we ate, Udi. I don't remember.
I ate half your chicken. Remember? I kept on eating your chicken.
Where?
At the French Market.
Oh, at the French Market.
Yeah. Remember?
Nope. Nothing to write home about. It was not. It just wasn't good. But yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it was just average. Yeah.
I ate at Trader Sam's. That was good.
Oh, well, good. Yeah. So, so what we have now, though, is the magic walls are up there. There is no real time of opening completion, but I think I'm kind of excited about this. We have recorded in that little corner nook that is there. If you guys know it, there's a little pathway you can go around, and there's a nice little spot.
Maybe it won't be so secret anymore.
I don't think it's not going to be anymore. I have a picture of you, of Mark, Jess, 13, and me in that little corner that we took a couple years ago, probably 3 now.
Yeah. Somewhere I have that.
So over there. So I have it on my phone, I'm sure, somewhere. But anyway, so now they're expanding the area, and honestly, I love it. If you know the history of the Columbia and everything that goes into that area, for me, I love that because it will help highlight and right now too many people are way too willing to forget the past, and I'm like, no, we need to bring back the memories and understand what is here and why it's here and why it's important to have it here. So anything we can do to maintain that, I'm good with. I'm actually and plus I'm really excited to see how it looks as another spot to go hang out. I mean, Tropical Hideaway, great, but how often do we actually hang out there? Well, when we get our Dole Whips, we go hang out. But
or when I get those other things that I can never remember what they're called.
The bows? No, the lumpia.
Yeah.
The bows? No, you get bows, not lumpia.
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah. So yeah, the bao buns. So anyway, so there you go. So that again, no idea really when that will open up, but they're currently closed off.
I think that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I agree. You think, Jess?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I wonder how that space is gonna be utilized for Phantasmic. Is it gonna be viewing? You think, or
Phantasmic?
No, I believe they'll
No, it won't be.
they'll cut it off.
That's a hard area.
Yeah, they'll close it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they'll just close it
Because
off.
if you when you get back there, you would start to see where they cut the lights when the pirates start getting off of the ship, like trying to get everybody off. You know what I mean? Like, because that's where they're gonna unload their cast on that side.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I rode the Columbia. I never do that.
And what did you think about that?
Oh, I mean, I always enjoy it, but like I was like, I have a whole day to myself. Like, what am I gonna do?
You should have done
the
that.
Columbia.
You should have done the canoes.
I thought about it,
Yeah.
and then I thought, then again, nah.
No, Mark. That's you and me, buddy.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do it with you guys.
Okay.
I just didn't. I didn't want to do it alone. You know.
Yep.
Yep.
It's not as fun. I
Yep.
can't splash people if I'm alone.
That's true.
All right. So here is a news item that Jess might like.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Dapper Dans are back.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
I
love
know.
them.
I
Oh,
figured.
they were there when you were there.
No, I just saw the
The news.
yeah, like them singing on the trolley for
Yep.
Halloween. They were
Yeah.
singing.
Oh.
They're doing the social distance thing as they continue. They're doing off the trolley, and they're also continuing to block off the Main Street station, which is driving me crazy. I hate
know,
that
I
is
hate it.
blocked off. I get why they're doing it for anything because they have to maintain that right now.
What do you mean? They're
Remember how when Jess when
Yeah,
Jess and I went,
you can't go up the
you
stairs.
cannot go up the steps. That is where they rope it off, and then their characters, whoever, will be behind the rope. That way, there is no contact between the performer or the character and the guest.
but when they're not doing that, you can load and unload.
No.
You
Nope.
still can't.
It's closed the entire time.
Yep.
Oh,
So you can unload, but you can't load.
oh.
No,
okay.
but you can't unload on Main Street
Yeah, you can.
unless they changed it. Did they change it?
Yeah.
Because when we went,
No.
you couldn't offload on Main Street. Main Street was the only one you couldn't get off on. You couldn't do anything on
Yeah,
Main
you
Street.
can get off there and then walk down the stairs, like because there's those like other set of stairs that's on the side.
Yeah,
To the right, if you're facing the station, to
Okay.
the right.
No, I know, but when we went, that was completely off. You could only get off of the other ones, Norland Square.
I could have swore we got off there, but yeah, no. You
No,
can do it
remember
now,
we had to go all the way
but
around.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but on the other, but the main point is the Dapper Dans have returned, and you know any of these little tidbits are always good because as we have been all wanting,
Yeah.
is returning. We need the things back. We need to feel.
Life.
Yeah, like we're getting back to normal. I think that is becoming an overarching theme with everybody, with everybody that we know. Again, last episode, you know, Christy brought that up. Like, how do I go? When do I go? Like, I want my normal. I want my Disney back. Like, I don't want to have that thing of like we don't have that or we don't have that. Like, so a lot of us are, and you know, when I went at the height of everything being restricted. So now Jess has gone with ease of restriction. Mark, you're going to go ease of restriction.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like, I want to go with ease of restriction. You know, it was good walking downtown Disney, you know, a couple weeks ago. It was great walking there and only really worried about a mask when you went indoors.
Yeah,
so that was kind of
a relief.
Yeah, that was kind of nice. And again, being in Orange County, a little bit more relaxed than other places. But yeah, that I kind of I'm in that weird spot now where I am like still remembering Disney from pre-lockdown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then I am now with the most vivid memory of Disney full restrictions on. You know, plexiglass everywhere, having to wear a mask indoors, outdoors, the whole thing. And I have yet to get that one experience of like inching back to normal. So I'm kind of like, I'm glad Jess wouldn't do that. I'm glad you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But then the other part of me is like, I'm like doing the raise my hand, like my turn.
You'll be back, I think.
I will be
later.
back. I
Yeah.
will be back soon. If I get my way, I will be back
before Halloween.
before Halloween. We'll
Okay.
see if.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it back before Halloween. We're going to find out if I can pull that off.
Speaking of Halloween, I saw that they're bringing back the Halloween screams.
They are. And
They are.
Which that was surprising to me. I didn't know that was coming back, so I'm gonna probably go check that out.
Yeah. So, Halloween Screams Nighttime Spectacular returns to Disneyland Halloween 2021.
Spooktacular. Get it right?
No.
Is it a spooktacular?
Nope.
No, I'm just being an ass.
Yeah. So, i.e.
I think that's what they would.
I hear self. Oh, don't forget. Plaid shirt. When you go.
You gotta text me. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna be overwhelmed.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I doubt it. Mark has always got it on point. And anyway, so yeah, the Halloween Screams Nighttime Spectacular returns to Disney in 2021. I don't remember the last time I saw that. Jess, what about you?
Very long time because it's only for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been. I mean, the last time 13 and I were there together. For the Halloween party.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
So you let me know, Mark, if you
I
can
will.
catch that.
It's been a long time since I've actually seen a fireworks show. The last one I saw was that I thought it was ridiculous. Was that mixed magic thing? Did you see that, Jess?
Yeah. Well, so when they first came out with that, it was Shannon and I think, and it started. And I looked at her and I said, I'm going back to the hotel. And I turned around and walked away.
Well,
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, this is the dumbest thing. Like, if I were my father flipping off Star Tours, this would have been me at this point in time.
Oh, I thought he split.
Splash Mountain.
Wasn't it Splash Mountain?
No, he flipped off Star Tours when they got off, when they were on like the walkway. He stepped off of Splash.
That's good.
Dude, when can I go to the park with your dad?
When can I go to the park with my dad?
I know. Can you talk to him? Can I?
He
come
wasn't
over?
there with you guys when you went?
Can I come up, dude?
No,
he never goes.
Mark, I was probably maybe 10.
Oh.
The last time I went to Disneyland with my father.
And you're only 18, so it's only been 8 years.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm 17. Get it right.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was dumb. But we did watch him when we were there because Cora's never seen fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we watched him. We were actually in line for Dumbo. And that is the perfect place to watch the fireworks is with Dumbo's new queue. That is the perfect spot. Because you walk through the queue over like back towards like where you could like the Casey Jr. where Casey Jr. is, and you're right there, and it is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like I don't know if I sent you guys the picture that my mom took of me holding her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the best spot, and it was a little bit louder, of course, because we're there. But she did fine. So. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be giving a report on the mixed match. I mean, the Halloween Screams.
So they're doing it for everybody, not just for the Halloween party?
The article that I am looking at is saying only Disneyland.
Well, it's going to be every night or just the night the Halloween party? If it's when the Halloween party's going, I won't be able to watch it. We'll see how it goes.
You know, it isn't saying if it's going to be a nightly thing or not.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, that looks. Let me know how that goes because it looks pretty good actually. So,
I love that one.
Yeah, going in line in theme with now we're coming into fall now, and with Halloween right around the corner, everything is switching gears to Halloween. Obviously, I believe Haunted Mansion now is into.
That is correct.
Retheme, and which I'm excited for because that is one of my favorites.
Is that the highlight of your holiday season? Is that?
Well, I love. I mean, my favorite picture that I post every year since I took it on the anniversary of the opening or Haunted Mansion's birthday is one of the front gates closed in Hollywood in Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Damien, I love that picture. I love how they do with the wreaths and the whole thing. So yeah, I think of any seasonal re-theme, and I've said it before, that one hands down is the best one. So anytime it pops up, I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked to go. And that'll be a time I already try to get on a haunted, 2 times every day that I'm on there. But yeah, so, and then definitely make my effort to finish.
Do you prefer it over the regular?
No. There's no preference for me. They're right in the middle. They're both equal for me.
Okay.
So
is it better at day or at night?
Good job, Jeff.
At night.
Thank you.
I think it is actually better at night.
Yeah.
I think it might be.
Even though you're indoors, of course, but I think just you get
when
into
you come out. When you come out, I think.
Yeah, but even like the garden in front, you kind of get into you totally get into the mood and spooky, I guess. But
go ahead, or just remind me. Go ahead, Udi.
No, I was going to move on. So if you have a comment, go for it.
Well, no, you were talking about how like things are starting to get into a Halloween effect.
Yeah.
Me, make you. There you go.
Oh, the maid. There you go.
Yeah.
I found it at Walgreens today.
For how much? Like $5, $7?
$11.60.
Not bad though.
So Jess is holding up a Funko Pop, and it's
of the maid.
Of the maid from the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they have the old, or the guy that is holding like the dynamite in the elevator, and he's like in his boxers and a tux shirt.
Oh yeah, yep.
They have that one too, and then they have Constance sitting on like the tombstone. They didn't have them there, but it's on the back of the box.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna keep an eye out for the rest of them, because I was like, $11 isn't bad,
Yeah, I have my ghost in that platinum.
How much do they normally cost?
Anywhere from $10 to $15.
Okay, so that's right in the
not too bad.
range.
Yeah. So, But yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Halloween's coming out. They're gonna have a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff at Walgreens this year, apparently. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyways, I
and
just
then
wanted to share.
yeah, and then going on off of that with Halloween, there is a ton of food offerings. I'm really not going to go into everything.
No, that could take 2 hours.
We could be here forever.
And we have a long interview.
Yeah, we do. So I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Fire breathing dragon.
The holiday.
I did not see that.
No,
Okay.
I didn't either. Everything is now switched over to fall and Halloween. It now has become my favoriteest time of the year to go. That's why Jess went, but she didn't go when it was there. You're going now. And now I'm raising my hand like my turn.
Yeah, I think you will go.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping I will make a trip by the end of the year for sure.
There was an update that I saw on the Disney stores closing.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be picked up by Target. Did you see that?
Oh, no.
Yep.
Target's going to, I'm not sure how many, but I think a lot of them are going to have like a little Disney shop inside of it now, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So they're going to absorb those, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a little.
Heck yeah, it is.
Heck yeah, it is. If you guys give me something to try at Disneyland during this thing, I will try it. Even if it's some crazy churro.
Spicy chicken and fries.
Where's that?
Oh, I tried that churro there.
At Flo's Cafe.
Okay, I'll go over there.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I wanted to get dinner reservations at Carthay Circle, the lounge, but they're shutting it down at 4 o'clock on the Halloween party. So I'm a little bummed about that. So did you email them, Mark, and tell them that you are coming? I did. I actually called the Disney. I did.
Said I am with the Leaving 2 Day podcast. I am actually the founder.
Yeah.
And I will be there.
I was not successful in that route either. No, they just they had a very vanilla answer. It was like, oh, more details are going to be released, and just make sure you check the Disney Parks blog. And I go, well, that doesn't do me any good now. Do you know? Oh, we don't have the information. So I think I'm gonna, and I'm not like Lamplight Lounge is not taking reservations. It's like day of. So I'm gonna try and get a reservation for Lamplight Lounge. If not, we're totally cool going to smoke jumpers or something. There'll be no
They have like wait lists too, like where you can scan the barcode.
Yeah.
And be put on a wait list, like day of.
Yeah.
Because when I got there were no reservations for the cantina, but I was like, forget this. I am getting into the cantina. It's open. I'm getting in to get my drink, and I scanned the barcode.
Yeah.
And I was only one person, and I was on the phone with you, Udi. What? It was maybe like 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It wasn't long. I mean, I am only one, but I think it's just because they knew who I was.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
So we're gonna figure it out. I mean, there's no shortage of food options there. I just was I really wanted to try Carthay Circle next time. I think I'll definitely try it. But yeah, that's the news, right, Udi?
Yep, that will be the news.
Okay, so we're gonna go into our feature presentation, and this one is with Mr. Nicholas Laschkewitsch, and I will just say before we get into this interview. We've been doing this show for 5.5 years now, and I'm not amazed. I guess I'm not amazed. I'm just I've come to expect it now. But every person we talk to in the Disney world, Disney artists, Disney authors, Disney Imagineers, Disney historians, everybody is so cool. Mm-hmm. Everybody, there's no pretense with anybody. Nope. Just like, hey, this is what I like. I like it too. Cool. And let me share this information with you. And they do, and they just share it and willingly and engage. And I just love it that we have this community of people. And Nicholas is one of those guys that I'm glad we got to meet him. And we have some stuff, hopefully, in the future. We're going to meet up at the park and grab something, dinner or a drink or ride some attractions or something. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So with that, LTP listeners, let's go to the feature. Wait a minute, Josh. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think I'm good. I love you guys. I miss you all.
It's good to have you back, Jess.
Yep.
Thank you. With my witty banter.
With the witty banter, yes. Okay, so now let's go to the feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Hey there, LTP listeners. We want to welcome you to our feature presentation. We have a very special guest with us this evening. You may have seen him before if you're watching something currently on the Disney Plus channel, something called Behind the Attractions. He's been on there for at least probably 4 of the 10 episodes. I'm guessing he'll probably correct me. Anyways, this is Mr. Nicholas Laschkewitsch. He is a mechanical engineer, theme park historian, and documentary filmmaker. Hello, Nicholas.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
Thank you so much for being on and being patient with us. We've been trying to get this thing going for a bit, but yeah, here we are. And yeah, so dude, how's it going?
It's been great with theme parks being open again and being able to go to the places I love. I mean, I'm going to Disneyland in about a little over a week, so I'm really excited. It's a really great time.
Okay, and and this is your first time back since everything?
Yeah, it'll be like 540 something days. Something I don't have the number off the top of my head right now, but it will be the first time back. So I'm probably gonna cry. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm so stoked. I'm going on the 13th and 14th. I got tickets for the Oogie Boogie Bash. Doing that, and then going to Disneyland the day before. So I'm stoked. And that'll be my first time back since since the opening of Rise of the Resistance on January 17th, 2020. Has it been that long?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do a little bit of background on you first. Some of our listeners, I hope most of our listeners have been watching Behind the Attraction, which is a phenomenal series. We were going to talk last week, but since then, 5 more episodes have dropped. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I happened to watch this evening. I was watching It's a Small World, and I go, that dude, we're talking to him a little bit. So I was stoked about that. Now, I first came across you through, I think it was Chris Roberry. Yes, he's nodding his head. Mm-hmm. Okay, because Chris Roberry did the Lost Parks of Northern California series, and that got me to connect with him and a few other Great America folks, because Great America is my home park for sure.
Right.
And in fact, I call it Marriott's. That's how old I am. And
the good old days.
The good old days. I'm going to date myself here and tell you that I do recall turn of the century, pre-demon. That'll make you smile. I know that. So now, I'm going to be old. I am old. Anyways. So were you involved with the Lost Park stuff?
Yeah, so Chris Robre came to me with the idea back in December 2012, kind of around there. And he came to this, he was part of the American Coaster Enthusiasts. It's a club that I volunteer for. And for those who aren't aware, it's a worldwide roller coaster enthusiast and preservation group. We've been around for almost 45 years, and we have over 7,000 members all around the world, actually. So I've been a part of them for over a decade, and I do a lot of regional leadership in Northern California. And so Chris came to me with the idea of developing a video series on lost amusement parks. And at the time, it was called The Lost Parks of San Francisco Bay Area. And I said, well, there's a lot of lost parks that are in Northern California at large. And so basically he and I developed the series together because I said this would be a great partnership with the American Coaster Enthusiasts because we have our whole historical preservation stint and we're about education. And so we'll have an audience ready for this kind of content right away. So he and I developed 6 episodes over just under 2 years. He and I pretty much did all of the work for the first couple. And then we got the interest of other members in the organization and friends of ours to help create some of the later episodes. But it was he and I who pretty much did the first thing and developed the whole series together.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
I stumbled across that and I go, okay, this dude is speaking my language. Everything he's talking about, Frontier Village I grew up with. And the early days of Great America, even Santa's Village up off of Highway 17, as you guys documented that. Dude, these are things that are all burned in my memory. And I'm so glad that someone else, I was like, dude, there's someone else that thinks like me. There's someone else that knows this kind of stuff. But you guys have managed to put it together. And so I was so stoked with that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was a really wonderful project to create. And let me tell you, we had no idea what we were doing when we started. We had never created a documentary. We didn't know how to do that kind of thing, how to film it, how to edit it. So, we were literally learning on the fly as we were shooting this thing. And, we developed a rhythm and we developed sort of a system. And what was really exciting is that when the series had a few episodes out there, people started coming to us saying that they wanted to share their stories. And when people start coming to you, that's when you're doing something that people appreciate and people really care about. And so, being able to rekindle memories of people going to Frontier Village and Santa's Village, and these people haven't shared these memories, for decades in some cases. And so giving them a spotlight and a chance to revisit their childhood has been a blessing. It was a real special series to be a part of.
Awesome. Okay. I'm glad we got that out of the way. So then, so you tell the story from there. Are you working at Great America at this point or what?
So I work for a themed entertainment company in Los Angeles, actually. I live up here in Northern California, and I work remotely for them. But we're a mechanical engineering and design company, and we do design work for museums. We do design work for theme parks, concert venues. We do theater spaces, all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm a mechanical engineer and a designer for them. So I'm 3D modeling and concepting ideas to how we can manufacture these different projects. Okay.
Gotcha. And then how did you get involved with Disney?
Yeah, so, I ended up doing an internship at Walt Disney Imagineering 3 summers ago, and that was leading into the company LA Pro Point, where I work now.
Okay.
Imagineering had always been something that I, like many of us who wanted to work in this industry, it's the pinnacles. It's where you got to be and where you want to go. And
yeah,
there was a chance visit. My dad met an Imagineer about 12 years ago, and at the time I was going through high school, and they hit it off. And so we ended up getting a tour of Imagineering when I was like 14 years old. And of course, at that age, I was just like in awe of being able to walk in this place. And so that relationship, we stayed in touch for many years until the point where I was about to graduate college, and I wanted to apply for an internship. And it's all about connections in this industry. And that was a real big help in terms of getting in the door and getting in there, because he saw my passion, and he knew when I was a high schooler and had seen over all these years that I still loved theme parks. And so that's how I landed up there.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and can you give us a little insight of what that was like? Is that like a summer internship you did there, or?
Yeah, so I was there for about 5 months, and I was in their ride engineering department. And so I've wanted to design roller coasters since I was 5 years old. This has been like a lifelong obsession. And so first job being out of college, literally working at Imagineering was like something. How did this happen? Like, how could this be? How could I be here? You know?
Yeah.
So I got to work on 2 attractions while I was there. I got to work on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which has been opening in Hollywood Studios and will be coming to California in a couple years. Yeah. And then I also got to work on a little attraction you may have heard of called Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah. Whatever part you played in that.
What did you do with that? Are you able to talk about?
Can you elaborate? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get into too much detail. Basically, what I designed didn't end up being built for the attraction. But I was working on a device for guests with disabilities so they could get on the ride more easily. And Disney is very great about making their attractions accessible for all different types of people.
Yeah.
So my second half of my internship was a project all basically by myself of designing a way for somebody with disabilities to ride that more easily. They ended up not needing such a thing for that attraction, but it was a really amazing experience for me to learn how to consider those guests that have more difficulty riding things. And I just took a lot of pride in taking on a project like that.
Dude, for sure. So tell me, what was your reaction the very first time you saw the scope of what Rise of the Resistance was going to be? I mean, you were there, I guess, from the ground level, no pun intended. Well, maybe you were. But what was your first thought? Like, oh, this is what this is going to be, or sort of?
Yeah, so the last week of my internship, it was around the end of October 2018, I was able to find someone to give me a walking tour of Rise of the Resistance. And so this would have been about 16 months, give or take, before it actually opened.
Wait a minute. Is this before Galaxy's Edge is opened yet? Or is this...
Oh yeah. Very cool.
Look at this dude here.
I know. He's like, yeah.
Okay.
This was about 7 months before the land opened.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
There was a lot of construction still going on, of course. And, of course, Rise of the Resistance was going to have a lot longer before that opened, ultimately. But I got to walk through most of that entire attraction on both floors. It was still, I don't know, maybe 75%, 60% complete. There was still a lot going on, but just seeing the scale of the rooms and the scale of all the floors that the vehicles were going to move on. Yeah. Even in an unfinished state, just the sheer size of everything just was like, this is going to be amazing. And and there's just dust everywhere.
Yeah.
At that time.
Dude.
How many times have you been on?
So I think it's probably about 8 or 9 times.
Yeah, you and me were right up there.
Yeah, so I was there. I was there opening day for the land itself. We stayed overnight in the hotel, and we're part of the very first group to enter the land. So we were part of like the whole countdown, and we got to high five all the Imagineers. And then I was also there for the grand opening day of Rise of the Resistance. We did the same thing where stayed in the hotel and did all that.
We were there.
We were there on the 17th.
We were walking the same ground, my friend.
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah. You go.
We got boarding group 47 on the very first day. Yep. We were stoked.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we were on Haunted Mansion when we got our notification to say, hey, you can head over to Rise of the Resistance. And I can tell you that was the first time that I'd ever said to Keith, let's get off Haunted Mansion. We need to go somewhere now.
Yeah, I mean, we were there. And then I remember Mark, you're like, oh man, Udi's going to be chomping at the bit to go. And I'm like, took a deep breath. I'm like, we'll make it through.
Yeah.
We'll make it through. We're not that far. We'll make it through. And I'm like having that slow, like that adrenaline began to pump. I'm like, oh man, we're going. Like, this is legit. This is happening right now. After, so long waiting and the rumor mills and you're going to be able to do all that. And you're like, and then to actually step on, I till this day, I mean, I'm getting chills right now. And anybody who's ever been on that, and sadly, many people have not been able to get on it for not only because of the closures, but because of just how sometimes the lottery of getting the boarding pass has worked. So I find myself incredibly lucky that I have been on it 8 times. And I know that, and but I keep on telling people, like, I try not to spoil it on the show, which is getting more and more difficult because I'm like, I want people to get on there and experience what that is without giving anything away. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know how you guys felt on that opening day because it was very nerve-wracking to get that boarding group because you had to be in the park, and so that meant you had to get to like the Toy Story parking lot at 6 a.m. when it opened, so you could make sure you could get through the Esplanade to get in the park, and then that didn't guarantee anything.
No,
Then you still had to get on your phone, and that was always exciting because everybody was like, instead of rope dropping everybody running, it's silent and everybody's on their phone, and then somebody 20 feet over there is like screaming, and somebody over there is screaming. It was a very surreal experience. So I'm so glad we both got to be there opening day.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
Second day, we're there. I made it because where we wound up going. We went all the way to Tropical Hideaway. And we kind of we're over there when we're trying to get on, and then. Second day, we heard, you hear the roar of the crowd per se, as it funneled, goes over the park, and I described it to people like I've been going to the park since before I was born, literally. My mom walked the park with her, and 3 days later I was born. But I had never ever been in the park with something like that happening. I mean, you have, the cheering from parades or from, for Fantasmic and all, but not to hear the wave, because you could feel that wave of excitement coming through Main Street and just starts permeating throughout. I made it the point, I'm like, okay, day 2, I have on my Instagram, I have a video, and I began because I'm like, here we go. I had our co-host Jess. I'm like, you get our boarding pass. I'm going to record this because this is something that is special. And I recorded just the crowd around the hub beginning to scream and yell, and then the sheer joy, people running around, jumping up and down, high-fiving each other, and just feeling that energy at that moment is something that is, I want more people to experience. And now, sadly, because of now the age of the attraction, we're not going to get that. We're going to have to wait for the next one for that. But man, was that just special, that those 3 days that we were there, every time it was just so special to witness and be a part of.
Yeah, he says the listener, she's just nodding and smiling. So you can't see the video feed, so I'm just going to describe what Nicholas is doing.
I miss it all. I'm so excited to talk about it with people who are so passionate like I am, because we weren't able to go for so long, and it just is, it's special to be able to be there for those experiences. Like I said, I was there for the opening day of the land itself, and I was filming the whole time because it was, such a historic moment in that park to open a land of that scale. It was, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it was strange for us because, I wanted to make sure that I was with my daughters. I could only bring one of them that day, but it was still special to be there with friends and family just to experience this, because in my lifetime, I don't really count Toontown as a major milestone. I'm sorry, but I don't. Nothing of this magnitude has ever happened in my life as far as Disneyland has. What was the major land before that? New Orleans Square, right? That was the last one they opened up. Really? Well, I guess
Critter Country.
Yeah, Critter Country. You could say that, but that did not get as much fanfare, shockingly enough, as Galaxy's Edge. Let me ask you this, Nicholas, about this whole thing, because we have our theories about the best way to enter Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh.
Don't say anything. Okay. What is your preferred method? If someone says, hey, Nicholas, I'm going to go to Galaxy's Edge, what do I do? How do I get in there? What is your preferred way?
Okay, so when I like to go to sort of any theme park land or anything, I like to do the most drawn out or the most unexpected way to end where you want to. And so I always go through Critter Country by the Rivers of America.
That is the right answer, Nicholas. Yeah, dude, right? Talk about the background music coming out of Hungryberry, and it just transitions right under the trestle. And then you hear like the weird four sounds, and then all of a sudden you hear a spaceship or starship going, and you go, this is not Disneyland. What am I doing here? And then, it beckons, and the market or bazaar, it's the bazaar, right? The bazaar marketplace beckons out in the future, and the whole story unfolds. I'm so glad we agree on that.
Well,
plus, Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we for everybody, we're like, hey, if you haven't been to Galaxy's Edge yet, go. Recently, when we reopened, I had the opportunity to go with, our co-host Jessica and her mom, her aunt, and because everybody was at that point, and they're all like us. We when we don't have our connection to Disney, we feel like what's going on. We have like that hole. So like with everything going on, I was worried with the mandates and like how am I going to feel, and what is going to change, and a lot of the things that I always talk about is the beauty of that park is the connection we feel with everybody in there, because a lot of people were there for the same thing we're there to enjoy, and for us, like people like us are here, we have that little bit deeper, that next couple layers down of understanding what's going on, and we kind of can point each other out in the park like, hey, we got you, we know.
Yes, exactly.
So I was kind of worried, but I was like, the park called, and so I had to go, and then we went, and her family had never gone that way in the Galaxy. They'd gone, they'd say, oh yeah, it's great, not big Disney people, but oh yeah, I love it. And I go, we're going this way. And they actually said, oh my goodness, that made a difference. I'm like, I see, this is why we go this way. And I kind of talked to him and because even Jess, who's not a Star Wars person at all, with the attraction and the land, she was critical of placement and a lot of the common critiques that we've all heard from shouldn't be there or could be over here. The arguments that everyone has had about it. But once you walk and once you see and once you hear, then you're kind of like, oh, wow. So that was great to have her kind of convert. And when we all wrote it together on opening day, she came up, she goes, that is the best thing I've ever been on. Like, hands down, like, we all have our favorites, but, like, oh, my gosh. So, yeah, I mean, walking in through the sound curtain going under the train trestle, the whole thing is just so magnificent. I want more people to kind of get the chip off the shoulder a little bit. I get it for some purists, and I air quote the purists, who are like, oh. But, yeah, I mean, wow.
Right.
Yeah, not only do I like to go that way, but I like to go that way and not tell my group where we're going. I just sort of like,
even better.
We're just going to go this way, and then they'll just be naturally like, wait, the environment around me is changing.
Totally, right?
Oh, we're in a galaxy far, far away now. And I think the integration, I was a bit concerned because I was at D23 2015. I was in the room at D23 when Bob Iger walked out on stage and said, we're not building one, we're building 2 Star Wars lands. And I was very concerned initially because Disneyland doesn't have any IP-based lands, at least at that time. It's Tomorrowland, it's Frontierland, it's Fantasyland. So when Galaxy's Edge came out, I was like, I feel like this should be in its own park. But ultimately, I feel like the integration that they did in Anaheim just worked out so beautifully because I've done the one in Hollywood Studios, and the transitions there into the land are very jarring, and they don't feel natural. And so you either walk from Toy Story through a tunnel and you're immediately in Star Wars, or you walk down New York Street through a tunnel and there's a huge berm that you can see right in front of you, and it just doesn't work as well. But I think at Disneyland they did a really fantastic job with the integration there. It's seamless.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Again, one of the beauties of how they did that over there. Not going to Hollywood Studios. I don't know. Like looking at the maps and the geographical maps of both of the versions of the park, I'm like, yeah, that. Like I feel like the sense of wonder or that ability to discover is not nearly the same at all.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
Matt. But on to the other thing now I have. The other one you worked on was Runaway Railway.
Well, hold on for a second. We're going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
Just one last thing.
See, the boss is in control.
No, I'm not the boss.
He's the driver.
When I first got off the Rise of the Resistance, my first thought was, what the heck was that? What did I just go through?
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I mean, that it may be the best attraction I've ever been on in my life, but it isn't my favorite. I still love Jungle Cruise for different reasons.
Okay, yeah.
But I will say that it made me appreciate Pirates of the Caribbean so much more, because in 1965, 1966, and eventually 1967, when they finally opened the door, that engineering was so far beyond what the theme park world had ever seen. And I felt like if they didn't learn all that stuff about doing that, and then Indy, and about doing that, then we would have never had Rise of the Resistance. Mm-hmm. So it's come to this. But so I just felt like, yeah, I've seen evolution of the theme park play out right in my lifetime. Just for as long as I've been going to the parks, it's like this became this one, this became this, and now we've got this.
Mm-hmm. You know, Mark, I couldn't agree more with you. I saw Rise of the Resistance as the culmination, basically, of like 60 years of theme park design. Basically going back to opening day, starting with the very simple dark rides that, Bob Gurr and Aero Development worked on, and then leading into, like you said, Indiana Jones and Pirates of the Caribbean, putting all of the lessons that Disney learned into what I consider the crowning achievement of theme park attractions. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Now, back to his question. Mickey's Runaway Railway?
How much did you do on that one? Yeah, I haven't ridden it yet because obviously I'm waiting for it to come over here. I did take a good long panoramic shot of the show building being built out there, and it is ginormous. And I guess I didn't have the scope and scale in mind, and I'm like, what is that? And I FaceTime Mark right away. I'm like, dude, look at this. And I'm like panning back and forth. The show building is huge. And everything I'm hearing about that attraction is that it is amazing, like really good and really fun. And before being very meh about Toontown in general, I'm like, can we just blow that up? And I've said it before, can we just blow it up and like expand Fantasyland and do like cool things and get like a Beauty and the Beast castle? Can I get that? Like I would love that. And then they said, oh no, we're getting Mickey and Minnie. So I'm like, why? And then now, but everything I'm hearing is like, no, it's worth it. Yes. Like it's really good.
I've heard it.
I'm like, too. Okay, so now I'm like, am I really gonna be that excited to walk into Toontown? And I kind of am.
Yes, I think you will be.
Am. Yeah.
So Nicholas, shed some light on that for us.
Yeah. So I'm very, very excited that it's coming out to California. When I was at Imagineering, I got to kind of dabble a little bit with both installations. So at the time, they were just sort of conceiving the idea of it coming to California, and so I got to kind of dabble. No, I didn't do a lot of real work that I could, show you in the real world, but I got to kind of touch both attractions. But I mean, what I can tell you is that in California, it's an entirely purpose-built building, where in Florida, it was taking over the Great Movie Ride. And so you have lots of design challenges when you are using an existing building that was designed for a different ride. And how do you fit in a ride? Then, when you go to California, we're building an entirely new ride. In terms of it's a brand new building that is built for the attraction, and it's a different set of land, and so the ride, of course, has to be configured differently than it is in Florida. But it's a huge building. It's 2 football fields long. It's a half a football field wide. If you go on Google Maps, it's the entire length of the backside of Toontown.
Yep.
It's huge. You'll be going through the El Capitan Theater. Or it's a play on El Capitan.
Yeah.
There's some great concept art out there of that. And of course, in Hollywood Studios, they had the Chinese theater. And so they already had the sort of theater entrance that you would want there. And here they had to come up with a new theater. So I believe they're repurposing one of the gag gift shop in Toontown, as I think that'll become the entrance marquee somewhere in that area, I think. But, it's due time that Mickey and Minnie had a starring attraction. It's kind of crazy to think that 65 plus years later, and we still didn't have a Mickey attraction. So it's an amazing ride that, from what I've seen, I haven't ridden it, of course, but the creative team that developed it was extremely passionate about doing this right and giving Mickey and Minnie the justice they deserved after needing something like this. It's charming. It has wonderful music. It inspires, let me start that over. The art style of the attraction kind of takes inspiration from the Mickey and Minnie shorts that you can see out today, and so they developed that in coordination with Disney Animation to produce a lot of the effects of the ride. But it's really charming. I really want to ride it.
I know, right?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, now, I mean, like I said, now I'm kind of like, well, okay, let's go.
Yeah, we'll go in there really quick and come out.
Yeah, like I'll run right in, get on that, and then walk right back out.
You know what, though? Cartoon Spin does not get as much love as it should. Don't you agree, Nicholas?
It's a hidden gem back there, and I actually do wonder what's going to happen to that. You know, are they gonna do something with that when Runaway Railway opens? You know, once that opens, are they going to think about, well, Roger Rabbit is not really let's say a very timely brand anymore. People aren't like crazy about it anymore, but I still think it's a hidden gem, and I do really like writing it.
Okay, right on.
You know, I can't disagree about the quality of the attraction, but the thing is, it's not enough to pull me over.
No,
it is really what it is.
It probably, I would imagine, because it always falls off my radar.
Oh yeah,
like no, we're not going anywhere near there, and then. There's so many other things to do, and Roger Rabbit's not even.
Well, I avoid that area in general because there's that, and then there's Small World. I kind of just start doing a hard right out of there as I start flaring back to Matterhorn, and I'm like, I'm going over there.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, what I'm most excited about for Toontown itself is it just. I think the whole land really needs a refresh, and it's felt tired for a long time, and I really hope that when they build this ride, that they do take the time to maybe spruce up some of the rest of the land, because when I was a kid, I grew up going into the ball pit and the Chippendale treehouse slide. Yeah. And a lot of those things have been taken out, whether it's due to safety standards or other things. And so that land has really needed some sort of revitalization. And so I think it's a fantastic fit for the park.
Yeah, I do too. Yep. And I'm actually glad that we're getting it too. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what we're getting. Cool. I'm down with that. Anytime we get something new in Anaheim, I'm stoked, to be honest with you.
And, well, that means we'll have 2 trackless dark rides in the same park. So
yes, we will.
Yeah, we will.
Same ride vehicles, Rise of the Resistance. So it's going to be very cool.
Okay, and the time frame, 2023, is that what they're talking about?
That's what I've been seeing. Yeah, I guess it got pushed out because of the closures and everything. But 23 is what I've been seeing. Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 years, less than 2 years, probably.
Yeah.
At this point.
Right on. Before we get into behind the attractions, because I want to know how you started that. Are you gonna get a magic key?
Well, so
or do
lived in Los.
I was going to ask you, or do you have enough connections within the company that you can just go?
That is one thing that helps right now. Certainly, so I do have connections that can help me get in. I'll say this: if I was still living in Los Angeles, and that's where I lived for about 3 years until this past spring, I would have bought one day one. Mm-hmm. With the way the costs went up and the way the reservation system is going, I'm probably not going to get one until I move back to Los Angeles, assuming I do. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Okay.
I'm not too keen on the whole reservation system idea, because when I had for context, I had an annual pass for a whole year when I was down there, and I went 120 times in that one, and I lived 80 miles round trip, and I still went 120 times.
Yeah, I would have done that.
One of my one of my favorite parts of living in LA and going to Disneyland was being able to choose on a Wednesday night at 7:00 where I'm just going to decide I'm going to Disneyland tonight. And the whole being able to choose when I want to go is what I'm most excited about. I might be able to still do that with the reservation system. But right now that's kind of what I'm feeling.
Well, yeah, I will give you my 2 cents on that, because we've talked about it before on the show about how we both, Mark and I, had the Flex Pass before, and you learn. I learned, and we both learned how to really navigate that whole reservation system, because that was one of the things. Like, man, that how are they going to handle that? How's it going to work? How are people? And then we just through, or more me, because I was a madman going to the park every other month as much as I could, like catching a plane. I'm like, where are you going? Where do you think I'm going? Like, I'd pack my bags. I called my mom and said, Mom, I'm going to be gone for a couple days. Where are you going? I'm like, you know where I'm going. Oh, you're going to Anaheim? Yeah. You're going to Disneyland? Yeah. So I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
So I get your point, though, because, I mean, now the only key that works for that is a top end key. And if you go to that blackout map, which I'm sure you've gone to look at, that is a wide open map. And I'm like, well, if you're paying that kind of coin for it, man, you better be walking in. So, yeah. And so, and then the thought also is that you go back to, the Flex Pass, the Believe key, that blackout map matches more with what I had with the Flex.
Yes, that does. It does.
So that is why it's pushing me. I'm like, okay, we can gripe about AP holders. We've all been there. you know, but you get kind of used to it, and then you get very familiar. Hey, yeah, see, I have the same one. I've
got one in my room too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah,
we are not getting cards, are we?
I know that thing is. Yeah,
you got to pay for it.
I heard you had to pay $25 for a card.
You got to pay $25 for a card. I'm like, nah. They're trying to put.
And it's not even a card. It's just one of those flimsy tickets. You don't even get a plastic thing.
Are you kidding? You're kidding me.
It's basically fast pass paper.
No,
yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, how lame. They're trying to push digital. I get it, but come on, man. We're okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most people who get creative and they look for deeper meaning in different things, it's a tactile thing. I'm very I had a conversation this weekend with a good friend, and we're talking about that and how when you walk into lands and different things, like she was telling me, I can't remember what one. The first thing she did is reach out and touch it. You know, she touched this is where we are, and we were walking around and different things, and so I told her the story about the first day going into Galaxy's Edge, and when Mark was right next to me and he saw me, I walked right to the bazaar, the opening of the bazaar, and the first thing I did is just I reached out and I rubbed my hand on the wall, and I kind of went, feel that, and then I'm
get it,
And then you're like, for my card, my AP, I always carried in my lanyard. It's right here in my lanyard. That's why it's always around my neck. But having that card, I'm like, don't call me old school, man. Just call me I want to know that I have it. I like having that tactile. So that's really lame. When I saw that, I'm like, really, guys? Mm-hmm. Really? Come on, man. I get what you're doing. I understand there's a lot of rationale. Cost, probably the main one. Mm-hmm. But still, man, don't forget us over here who like that kind of stuff. Don't leave. I'm gonna put a bet out there that they'll probably get enough pushback. Hey, I want my card, and not only that, because now it becomes a memento. Mm-hmm. My AP card, the same thing with my AP card magnet. Those are now mementos. So I'm I love holding on to that. I'm there are people out here we love. I mean, I know a ton of crafty people, and they love doing stuff with that. So.
Yeah, no, there's a sense of pride and a sense of ownership with having this this card. So and the I got 3 of the magnets over here, so I know how you feel.
Yeah. So I mean,
see, look at that. You got one of those.
Oh, I'll tell you the story. I don't know. But we when I went down with Jess down there, we were walking, and I picked one up. I forgot where I got mine. And then we went into Disney Home. Yeah, Disney Home in downtown Disney. And then we walked in, and then Jess was talking. I'm kind of walking around, and then she went to go buy something. And then as she's talking to the cast members in the shop, they're like, "Oh, you're a Legacy Pass holder." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, cool." And here, have one. And then she goes, "Hey, can Udi have one too? Because he's one too." And then I'm like, I already had one, but I'm like, I'll take another one. And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure." And and then you guys been to the park, missed the park, blah. And then she brought up our podcast. "Oh yeah, no, we're podcasters. We love the show. We love the park. We do a whole show on it." "Oh really? How long you guys been doing it?" "We're about 5 years in now." I'm "No way, really? Yeah. How amazing!"
140 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. We're deep, and that's crazy to me. But anyway, and so here. Have more. We have a grip of them.
Oh my God!
And then we've been giving away to different of our more loyal and our Patreon supporters. So we have them.
Awesome.
I know. So we're giving them out hey, we know you're an AP holder. We know that you lost it, and if you haven't been in the park in a while, we got you here. So we're still waiting for a few other people to get their info, but. Yeah, we've got him, and that was amazing. So, that all adds to everything. That whole tactile experience and just making a memento out of it is incredibly important. It creates memories. I mean, my mom still has things from way back. And Jess's family still has found an e-ticket book, a ticket book. Oh, no. There you go. See, look, even you.
Oh,
see, there you go. Yeah, see? So how can you not love that? How can you not love that?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those. Those are really special.
Okay, so what I was going to say. I was going to say about the Magic Key? I think that we're still in a weird time, that they're trying to figure stuff out. currently the reservation business model works for them, but I think if we flash forward 12 months, we may not have an all reservation system. You know, I maybe they do have one pass, like they bring back the AP Flex Pass, because that thing just showed up like overnight. Like, where'd this thing come from? And it just
right, yeah, that's right.
and so I still think, you know, we're just kind of playing with it to see what works, what sticks on the wall, what doesn't. So I think, and again, this coming into next fall of 2022, we may not be having the same situation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you can appreciate Mr. Chapek for is efficiency. The man is about dollars and cents. And I posed a question a couple of weeks ago when we were live, doing live. I'm like, hey, there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm critical. I've been critical of Chapek. I think Marquez, and anybody who Disney, when you bring somebody in, you have Iger, you have different people, you're going to have that little bit of people like, oh, I love him, I hate him. But then, the one thing, the rep I think he's gotten has been very, financially, pays attention to the black and white, the red and the black, and
absolutely.
So, but I'm thinking, that may not be such a bad idea.
That
may not be a bad thing for him, and especially when it comes to something like the Magic Keys, because I'm pretty sure they're going to come out and he's like, give me the numbers. I've worked for people like that. Like, show me the numbers. Like, I don't care. Like, we'll handle, guest satisfaction. We can handle all the surveys. We're going to do that. First thing I want to know is show me those numbers. So if the keys aren't working the way that whoever helped modify design aren't working, he's going to look like, why isn't that one moving? Is it too high? Is it too low? Are we not offering enough? Do we need to offer more? And that whole thing will start cycling. So the up and down of it all is very, it can be very confusing and frustrating. But I think in this case, with him being there, this might work out better for everybody, because I know some people need to go, they're just going to raise everything. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think he's going to be more of the guys like, I want more money. Okay, that's fine. Business, that's his job.
Yeah.
How do we do that? Well, if you run it too high, you're pricing people out. If you run it too low, then they have that other bad spectrum that they're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So what do we do? So I think we go another 6 months, maybe a year down the road, we're going to see iterations start rolling through. That I bet they're going to get better and better and better.
So, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that for the love-hate thing with Chapek, I think I'm trying to be a little bit less critical of him and try to open my mind to that side and go we may get some good stuff out of this guy that may be beneficial for for the fan and the average park goer. We'll see.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll add to that is where I get more concerned about the penny pinching is when it comes to Imagineering and future capital budget for new attractions. If they start cutting costs on bigger attractions and guests start noticing, but it doesn't affect the bottom line, then they're going to start creating attractions at a lower quality.
I agree.
And save money. And so that's where it becomes a dangerous territory, because once you start going down that road, it is very hard to regain guest trust again.
Yeah, very.
So
very.
I hope that doesn't happen.
No, and you know what? That is a very, very good point. Because the one thing that we are now coming out of the closures and everything, there are that group of people out there who aren't us, and we recognize that we do not make up the bulk of the park goer. We don't. So even though they want to cater to us because we are the loyal, and then Disney, for being a huge corporation, I think does their best at trying to keep us. We got to pay attention to the loyalists. We got to pay attention for the people who got us here. We're not going to just kick them out the curb once we got them big enough. But that balance to strike is, but we need to bring more people in, and though the majority of the people are the ones who are going to pay and make up our bottom line.
Right.
So yeah, that is a very valid concern, and this is where I kind of go hope where the roots and the core and the legacy of Walt will guide, and as if they do not stray from them, and you can argue, some people argue that they already have, but I think as long as they stay true to that, I think we're going to be okay, but it is something I think that most people like you and I will be the first ones to start throwing alarm bells up like, yo, hey, hold on.
Exactly.
You want to do what?
Yeah.
And you're only going to go do that? Give me a break. Because, we cannot play. You cannot downplay or diminish Disney purposefully. If you do that, then you just become a regular old amusement park. Whoopee! Like, no, the heart, the soul, the magic is in those attributes that are almost intangible for some people. But, we get it. We talk about it all the time. Like, hey, you see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, that is a big, huge difference. So we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. So how did you get involved with Behind the Attractions? Let's get to that.
Yeah, so it's probably one of my proudest achievements is being part of that series. It was a very surreal, amazing opportunity, let me tell you, to be on such a major streaming service as Disney Plus, but also to be credited as a theme park historian and respected and placed alongside so many other Disney legends, Joe Rohde and Bob Gurr and all these people. And it's like, in some episodes I show up more than some of these legendary Imagineers, and I'm like, this is a very weird thing, So it actually, to the story of how I ended up being part of it goes back to Lost Parks of Northern California, because after the Lost Parks of Northern California, Chris and I and a small other group of people, we developed a 72-minute documentary called The Legacy of Aero Development.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Hold on for a second. That was one of my questions that I want to bring up. I have it written down here. You can see it, Legacy of Aero Development.
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
I guess this is about a good point as any. Well, I want to put a pin on that because I want to talk to you about that in a moment. But go on to what your story is. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get more into Aero in a little bit, but essentially Aero is responsible for a lot of major Disneyland attractions. And so they're very important to the history and should be given credit for all the work that they did at Disneyland. And so we developed a documentary that told the Aero story, which is heavily involved with Disney. And around the end of 2019, I think it was October 2019, the production companies behind the show, which are the Nacelle Company and Seven Bucks Productions. And Seven Bucks Productions is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's production company.
Did you get to meet him?
I wish I had. Sadly, did not. He's the one who actually came up with the concept for the show, actually, because he had seen other shows produced by the Nacelle Company on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us and The Movies That Made Us.
Great
which
shows.
Are the same. Yeah, I had seen them. They're really great, quirky editing style, similar to Behind the Attraction. And so Dwayne Johnson had the idea of, why don't we do a show like that called about Disney attractions? So anyways, I saw the public announcement about the show. And so Chris Roberry and I and Robert Engel, the three of us are kind of the three behind that. We decided to send both production companies a DVD of Legacy of Aero in the hopes that they would try to include that story in their series. One of them never came back to us, but the other one not only got back to us, but they watched the film, they saw what we were trying to do, and they wanted to include that as part of the Disney story. And so we were in email discussions for a while, and then it turned out they really were serious about it. And so in February of 2020, about a month before the world changed, I was interviewed in front of a green screen in Burbank for about 3 hours. About half of the interview was talking about the documentary and talking about Aero's connection to the industry. But as you both know, I'm a major Disney fan in general, and they figured that out pretty quickly. And so once we got like the historian stuff out of the way, they're like, could you riff, on Space Mountain, or could you riff on the Haunted Mansion and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and all these different attractions? So the second 2 hours of my interview was just nerding out and geeking out about the technology, the engineering behind all of my favorite attractions. And so it was a very amazing experience. And then the series was delayed quite a bit because of everything that happened. And then of course it's out now. And I'm in 4 of the 10 episodes, which is like,
I guess
still got to pinch myself.
Yeah. Are there more coming out that you know of, or just those 10 for now?
So it's just those 10. And I found out that I was in them just like all of you, and we all sat down and watched it together.
No way. Wow.
That's what I knew. I didn't know if I was, if I had made it off the cutting room floor or not until I was watching it a few weeks ago. I was like, wow.
That is awesome, dude.
Thought I said something good.
Yeah, dude. I saw that. I go, yeah, I know that guy. That guy's gonna be in the show.
Yeah.
Also, Don Ballard is a friend of ours, and we've had him on the show. Love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny you mention him, because I was just before we were talking watching the Disneyland Hotel episode.
Yes.
So
yes.
He was featured prominently in that, of course. Yeah.
As he should. I mean, he's like one of the few that know all that stuff. So, dude, congratulations on being part of that. I was stoked for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I will mention, of all the episodes that I'm in, what I was most proud about was the It's a Small World episode.
I was just watching it, yeah.
of the 4 episodes, they actually mention Aero development by name.
Yes. Okay. So I'm a Northern California guy. Know Mountain View very, very well. And I love history. I love Disneyland history. And I've been preaching this. We've been 138 episode. I don't know what this is going to be, 138 or 139. It's going to be one of those. Even from the get-go, I've been talking about Aero and its importance of how it became so important to Disneyland. People just don't get it. They just think that Walt Disney built these things in his backyard, right? So I wonder if you could expand on a little bit, because our listeners like this kind of stuff too. If you could just talk about briefly its role in Disneyland stuff, what was important for them, and how it really helped Disneyland. Then also talk about how Disney helped Aero towards the end, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed out that most people think that Disney built everything, and publicly that's kind of how they often show off how they are. But that's what was so great about them mentioning Aero and behind the attraction was it's the first time in like modern history that they've given credit to everything that company did. And so what that company did is pretty monumental when you look at what opened with Disneyland and how many of those attractions were designed by Aero. So for a bit of context, Aero development started in the mid-1940s in Mountain View. This is before Silicon Valley was even a thing, because most people who are listening will definitely know what Silicon Valley is. Yeah. And Aero was headquartered in the Silicon Valley area for a little over 35 years, give or take. They moved to Utah after that. But in the early 50s, they caught the attention of Walt Disney. They heard he was building a little theme park in Anaheim. Yeah, right. And they were trying to pitch to him one of Aero's attractions. They tried to pitch to him an antique auto kind of car ride. And so what they ended up building was a lot of the original dark ride systems for Disneyland. So I'll see if I can rattle off a lot of them. Okay. But they did Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They did Dumbo the Flying Elephant, Casey Jr.'s Circus Train, Snow White's Scary Adventures. And then later on, they did, of course, Adventures Through Inner Space in Tomorrowland. They did the Flying Saucers, which was the very short-lived ride in Tomorrowland, of course. The new version was also short-lived, ironically, in California Adventure. So I guess that concept maybe is flawed. But Aero did that. Aero was involved in the Submarine Voyage. They were involved in developing Omnimovers for the Haunted Mansion. Most importantly, though, would be the Matterhorn bobsleds, which was not only Aero's first roller coaster, but it was the first tubular steel roller coaster. And anybody who rides a traditional coaster today, you'll see 2 pipes that wheels are rolling on. They're tubes. And Aero, revolutionized that concept for roller coasters. And of course, you look how mainstream that alone is in this world. Yeah. And there's others. They did Pirates of the Caribbean. We talked about Pirates of the Caribbean earlier and how important and how revolutionary that was in the late 1960s. And that was an evolution of It's a Small World, where there was a boat ride with no drops, but now Pirates of the Caribbean is a boat ride with drops. So as you can see just from that short list, they had a huge impact in the first 2 decades of Disneyland.
Yes, dude. Yeah, I'm so glad you're like confirming my theories on all this stuff. But then once Disneyland started getting going, then Aero fell into financial trouble, right? And then Walt Disney did something to help them out.
Yeah, so Aero, if you look at the long-term history of Aero, there's a lot of ups and downs, which is ironic for a roller coaster company. It makes for a really great documentary story, though, let me tell you, because there's lots of ups and downs that have lots of highs and lots of lows. Disney, Aero was going to do anything they could to be part of a Walt Disney project. And so being able to work on all the opening day rides at Disneyland, they were going to do it, even if that meant losing money. And so that's kind of what ended up happening. They lost money on every opening day attraction that they worked on. But Walt, being the man that he was, he respected anybody who gave them the time of day and really had the same vision. Aero had the same vision that Disney wanted. They knew what each other wanted. And so Walt didn't want his business partner to go away. And so he ended up around 1960, give or take, he bought a third of the company. A third of Aero to keep them afloat and keep that sort of machine going so that they could continue working on Disney projects. And they continued to work with Disney until the opening of Disney World, at which point Disney had their own sort of in-house the central shops, as they called them in Florida. They sort of parted ways at that point. But I mean, without Aero, the first 16 years of Disneyland attractions, almost every ride we love would not exist. So they're very, very important. Dude,
that is so awesome. And it's kind of cool. It seemed like, for me, growing up in Northern California, like Marriott's Great America and Frontier Village seemed to be like these real life testing areas for Aero. Does that seem right to you?
Well, yeah. So Frontier Village, especially because in the mid 70s, Rio Grande Industries, which is a railroad company that doesn't exist anymore, they bought Aero Development. Well, what did they also own? They also owned Frontier Village.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So
okay.
That connection certainly literally became, if that partnership had lasted longer, Frontier Village could have been this huge testing grounds.
Yes,
certainly.
yeah.
Yeah, could have been amazing.
Now, the one roller coaster they had there, that Apache Whirlwind, that was not Aero, or was it Aero?
It was not Aero, but it was during when we produced the Frontier Village episode of Lost Parks.
Uh-huh.
That was when we first learned a little bit more about Aero, and that's when we decided to spin off into our own full-fledged documentary because of Frontier Village.
Okay. Right on. I love that story. I love it so much. You good?
Yeah, I'm cracking my neck. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Too much history.
No. I love this stuff too. I'm not quite like Mark, as knowledgeable as Mark, but I'm a history guy as general rule. Anytime I go into a new area, new anything, I like to know where it came from. I'm a big guy, like, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. So the more I know from behind me, the more I can look and go, like, this is where we are now. Like a map of anything, like, you are here, so we're going there. So yeah, I love this stuff. Yeah.
So Nicholas,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead and say that, man.
I was just going to say, one of the reasons the Aero story was so important is it was one of those diamond in the rough stories that nobody really knew about. It had never been told in full, and they were so critical to why we even enjoy theme parks today. I mean, I didn't get into it, but they invented the corkscrew and they invented the log flume. And I mean, these are quintessential theme park inventions that, I mean, I can't imagine the industry without them. So, yeah. And of course, being from the Bay Area, I had a very good, nice personal connection to wanting to tell that story too.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you three got that right and got it together. I wish there was more. I was like, oh, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. So I'm going to geek out real quick, Nicholas, and I'm going to throw this wild, crazy question at you, and I want you to answer it as best as you can. And this is me being a geek about stuff. Okay. So Matterhorn bobsleds, probably my second favorite attraction in the world. I think Jungle Cruise is my favorite, and Matterhorn is my second favorite, just for the memory. Well, we all know people go, oh, I don't want to go on that because it hurts my back. It hurts, I just feel like it's way too bumpy. And there's always this rumor about, oh, they're going to redo it and they're going to redo the tracks. Now, let me ask you this. And you might be the only one to answer this question correctly. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's a theory I'm going to run at you. If you were to redo the tracks, could you, and how much of a difference would it make if you used the same technology that's on Railblazer?
Okay. So convert it into like a single rail
coaster going down the icy caverns of the Matterhorn bobsleds. Yes.
That would be one wild ride.
But don't you think they could do what they wanted to do with that?
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, all of the track, at least once or twice, maybe even more, I couldn't tell you how many times, all the track in the Matterhorn has been replaced at this point over the amount of years it's been open. The issue with Matterhorn is the layout of the track. You can't fix crude roller coaster design. And so the way to fix the Matterhorn is to really redesign that track layout in a way that is not rough and rowdy. And using a track design such as Rocky Mountain Construction's single rail track design, which could have really tight turns and has really tight trains, that could make for a really unique experience. It would certainly fix the bumpiness part for sure.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more ergonomic too.
Okay, I was just working on that theory, thinking because they're able to do whatever they want with that single rail, bend it, twist it, whatever. Yeah. Right on. Any questions you have?
No, I'm soaking it all in.
Okay.
No, because you two are far more advanced with the history than I am. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. It's all good.
It's all good.
We're the teachers. That's why you're
there. You go. I'm like
classes in session.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
we're gonna have some general. Should we do the randomizer with him or no?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so well, there's two things.
Oh no, he would be great to do a randomizer with.
Okay,
we need to do that.
Okay,
well, now I need to. I'm curious now.
Okay, there's two things we're gonna do before we let you go, because I know times of it's important. But we're gonna do the randomizer, then we're gonna ask you our standard issue of questions. We always ask every interview.
Every interview, yeah.
So yeah, let me flip this off real quick and see if I can get the randomizer up and running. You can still see us, right?
I see your initials.
Okay. So what the randomizer is we pick. I have a list of every attraction at Disneyland and DCA, and the top three of them we get to keep one, we get to replace one.
No.
What a minute.
No, keep one, get rid of one, and then modify one.
And modify
and
one.
if you're going to modify it, you have to give what your modification would be.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, we throw this curveball at people all the time. It's great.
So, and sometimes, okay, so here we go. So the top three attractions that came up on the randomizer are Goofy Sky School, Storybook Land Canal Boats, and Astro Orbiter.
Well,
do you want to do that?
Yeah, redo that one.
Oh, come on. Nicholas would like that.
I have answers for those all three
okay,
already.
well, then we'll go for it. All right, go for it.
Okay, we might do two of these then since they're so fast. Okay, go ahead. So we've got Goofy Sky School, Storybook Land Canal Boats, and Astro Orbiter. All right.
It's funny. It's funny. Before you even did the randomizer, the first ride I thought it was Sky School. So this is like pretty ironic. It's pretty ironic that you said that. Okay, so that one, of those three, keep, get rid of, or modify. I would get rid of that one. To me, that's just harkens back to the original vision of Disney's California Adventure Park, which was, kind of a hit or miss sort of original concept. And having a Wild Mouse coaster like that is just, it feels cheap to me. They added theming to it, and they tried to make it a Disney ride. But you can find that at Six Flags. You can find that at your fair. And it's never felt like the quality Disney experience that I want. And so I've thought the only way to fix that is to get rid of it.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
I'm with you on that one. I'll chime in. I'll get rid of that one too.
All right, good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll go down tomorrow morning with some shovels and we'll.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll do that. I can drive heavy equipment.
But Nicholas, part of the game is you got to come up with the other two.
So which one?
Right. So for Astro Orbiter, I always thought that should be on top of the old Rocket Rod station like it used to be.
We're both doing this.
Why are we putting it in front of the entrance to the land when you're blocking the view into Tomorrowland? It never should have been put there in 1998 when they redid Tomorrowland. It deserves to be on top like it is in Florida and like it used to be. That's where it used to be.
Okay, we're on point. I agree completely. They got rid of the French fries, but it didn't really make it that much better.
Oh, okay. So then by process of elimination, you're going to keep Storybook Canal Boats.
It's one of my favorite rides. It's not quite an opening day. It opened, I think, or maybe it was opening day. I think it might have been open. May have opened. I'm not. Casey Jr. actually wasn't an opening day one. For reference, Casey Jr. opened like 3 weeks later or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, it's such a classic, original, vintage ride to me. And the queue is such a narrow, like 1955 queue. It's such a very tight squeeze. And It's a very charming ride. I'd love it at night. I would be so sad to see that touched in any way. It's like, don't anything. So
I know we were talking with Sam Carter. You may know who that guy is. Good friend of the show, and he did a really good artist concept, his own concept of Fantasyland, and he took it out. And we held that guy to task. My Sam, you can't be doing that. Mm-hmm. But I can't argue with Sam.
He made a good argument, but I was like, nah.
Yeah. Okay.
If they do anything to it, I'll just add that, like they've been doing the little additions to Peter Pan and Snow White, the little modern upgrades and touches. If they did something like that, maybe to the cave in the back where you go, where Aladdin is and the little genie and the lamp is, I'd be okay if they did something like that. But anything more, I'd be like, oh no.
I know, right? Right?
What are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing? Okay, so we're going to do randomizer again. Did you want to add to that? No, I think we're all on the same page with that one.
We all agree.
Okay.
Plus, I will add that my cousin proposed to his wife on the canal boats when I was there. So it's pretty special personally too.
Jay Bratton did that too. He proposed his wife on that. So we've got Mark Twain Riverboat, Grizzly River Run, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Is that good for you, Woody? Should I do it?
Oh my Lord! Say it again.
The next three are Mark Twain Riverboat, Grizzly River Run, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll go with that one.
That is a tough one.
Ooh.
Nicholas, you need to lead us off with this.
Shoot.
Mark Twain Riverboat, Grizzly River Run, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Wow.
We have to keep one, ditch one, and improve one. Let's do this.
Oh man.
I know, right?
This is suddenly really difficult. Okay.
Why aren't you laughing now?
Yeah. See, the other one was too easy for you, and the randomizer got you. Like, no, he's laughing at me right now. I'm gonna get you right now. This is what happened right now.
God, one of those is opening day. It's shoot. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna start with Big Thunder Mountain.
Uh-oh.
And I am not going to start with Big Thunder Mountain. I am going to start with Grizzly River Run.
Okay.
And I am going to say remove it.
Yep. I concur.
And as much as I really like Rapids rides and as much as I think they did a great job with it, it's one of the rides I ride the least. And I think it could be replaced with a fun family-style roller coaster that maybe has forward and reverse launches that maybe goes up through the mountains and through some tunnels and stuff. I think you could do something cool with that space and not have such a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
No, I concur. Yeah, I concur.
I concur.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fun thing, but would I be sad if it magically went away? Like, no. I love the mountain peak.
I love the theming there, dude.
That is amazing. But yeah, I mean, looking at the options is only really the only reason why I'm saying it, because look at the other options we have, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get rid of either of those. There's no way. It's a victim of being on this list.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I think that was the hardest one out of the way, because Big Thunder Mountain, I think the modifications that they did on that third lift hill in the tunnel with the explosions, and then of course redoing the entire track, I think 7 years ago, to me it's perfect. I don't think they could really do anything more to it, and I don't want them to do anything more to it. That one's great. Keep it. Mm-hmm. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Mark Twain, I really did not want to remove that because it's one of those opening day of Disneyland. It's in the opening day broadcast when you see the people getting on it, and there's that story where it like almost sunk because there were too many people on it. Yeah. But I've always thought that it would be cool if they incorporated some sort of table dining restaurant on that. So you could basically do a dinner cruise on the rivers of America.
Dude, speak my language.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on everything. But I know back in the day, they used to sell mint juleps out on the Mark Twain.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that sounds like such an enchanting night. But I think, oh my gosh, a dinner package, something on the Mark Twain.
And think about this. You could go crazy and somehow incorporate a small group of people into the show of Fantasmic. When the riverboat comes, you get to be part of throwing the streamers along the side of the riverboat at the finale of Fantasmic after your dinner.
Dude, I love that. You should work at Walt Disney Imagineering.
Well, maybe I'll end up back there someday. Maybe they'll remember what mistake they made and they'll take it back. So.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I love that. I love that idea. I remember a couple years ago we were talking about an idea about doing like the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue on Tom Sawyer's Island, where you could just eat out there, because I miss that thing so much. Yeah. Not as much as the Skyway, but I do miss it a lot. But that's a good. Do you agree with his stuff? Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yep.
All right, the random.
One thing I want to interject about that, because it's something I really feel strongly about. I think Disney should really focus on doing more upcharge special experiences in the parks like that, rather than, if you look at the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, which is probably going to be an amazing thing. It's something that most people won't be able to do.
Ever.
Yeah.
Probably ever.
And
It's
if
so
you will,
expensive.
you'll get to do it once. Yeah. And so I think if they focus on dessert parties and dining packages and these special, maybe do some cool escape room thing. I don't know. You could do all kinds of interesting things. But I think focusing on smaller scale stuff like that would be a lot better for the guest at large, rather than these bigger things that most people can't do. So that's why I think like something on the Mark Twain like that would be a lot of fun, because I know I would go crazy for something like that.
I would too. I mean, I could see myself spending upwards of $100 for that.
Yeah.
For dinner. And yeah, oh my gosh, maybe get a special pin or something. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We can dream. Popcorn bucket.
A popcorn bucket. Awesome. Thank you for being a good sport with that stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get to our Disneyland questions. We ask all our guests this. And it's always a lot of fun. There's no wrong answers. We just kind of see where you are and what you do. Okay. So the first question, softball. What is your most essential Disneyland attraction, or plural?
Essential. I like that choice of word instead of favorite, because it would be a different answer if you had said favorite. But essential for me would be Indiana Jones Adventure, hands down.
Essential. Okay, so you're basically saying if that thing's dark, if that thing's 101, you're going to be pissed off, right?
I would be very disappointed, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Space Mountain's pretty close for reference. Nothing is better than any ride score than the Michael Giacchino score on Space Mountain. That thing is like perfection to me, so that would be like a very close, like up there too.
It's better than, wait a minute, you're saying that's better than Dick Dale?
I never rode it with Dick Dale firsthand. I've heard the music, but not firsthand, so I have no connection to it, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So Indiana Jones, that's the most essential. And why is that? I'm just curious.
It's just it's a quintessential Disney attraction to me, and it's just out of control, but it's in control because it's obviously a safe attraction. But it's engineered terror at its best, and it's just we never learn. We always look into the eye of the idol, and then we go into the temple, and everything goes wrong. Someday we'll maybe not do that, but it's just out of control. You're flying all over the place, and you feel like you're in the story and you're right in the action. And that's not a lot of rides are like that in the action. And that's
true.
Really it's really magical.
Rise of the Resistance is like that. Yeah, it definitely is that.
Well, I think you look at Indy. The one thing about Indy though, I want it back to opening day because it isn't there for as great as that is.
We were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah, we were, and there we were. Our previous episode, our guest from our previous episode, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Indy, for again how great as that is, it in my opinion it has lost a touch. And if they elevate that back to where it was, that would just that would elevate the ride. For me, it's already a top 5. Like I ride that pretty much in hard left to Indy. I go like rope drop Indy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I get that, but I also have that mind's eye going, remember when this was a little bit different, that was a little different, and just the little tiny touch, for as fantastic as that attraction is, I'm like, elevate it back. Can we go back to there? Because I think that would blow a lot of people away at how much better, because again, we were talking about how we could, people who love the park can look at the history and the evolution and everything, and like, if you guys understood what was going on and if we could regain the cue of Indy back to where it was, you could see so much of like, look at the queue over here, look at all the interactive cues and all these different things. This is where it kind of started. So that is still a great answer because it's one of my essentials too. So I'm like, I got you on that one. Yeah,
I feel.
And if you ask, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I feel you guys on that. And usually I'm with my daughters coming off of that attraction or the Udi, but one of my favorite parts of the whole park, just in terms of theming, is when you're coming out of the temple, when you're coming off of the when you're walking through the temple and the Jungle Cruise is on your right hand side and you're under the canopy of trees. To me, that is some of the best theming that I've ever been in my life. I'm thinking, we're not in Anaheim. And I always stop. I go, girls, no, we want to go get this and this. I go, no, just stop for a second and just appreciate what people have done here to make you, but they don't care. I care. Okay.
Love it.
So what were you going to say, sir?
That's a good question. Okay. I was so interested in what you were saying, I forgot. It's all good.
Okay.
Actually, I remember now. Let me put a second to pause here. My answer to that question would be different tomorrow if you asked me. It would also be different, like if you said, what's your essential daytime Disney attraction, your essential nighttime Disney attraction? Because that's a very different.
Well, you just wait a minute, Nicholas, because that could be coming up.
Okay.
But before that, where's your favorite place to eat in the park, and what is your favorite snack?
Okay. So I love Rancho del Zocalo.
Oh, dude, this guy will eat there for lunch and dinner every day.
If they had
I would do that. I would do all three too, man.
Yeah, if they had breakfast, I'll like walk by. I'm like, open already.
Okay, what do you get there, Nicholas?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
I get the burritos occasionally, but almost every time I just get the enchiladas. And this is the one with
this guy. You guys
and often with the carne asada, so I get the kind of the more upscale version.
Yeah.
Is that where you get the carne asada?
No, I don't get the carne asada because I just love the
cheese,
the enchilada, and the red sauce.
They're fantastic. And I love going there at night, sitting by Big Thunder Mountain, so that I can watch everybody riding around.
Okay,
I do that.
Hold that thought. What is your favorite snack?
Yeah, so favorite snack. So I actually typically don't have a lot of snacks when I'm there, but one of my favorite snacks that I've had there, it was a seasonal snack, but during Halloween a few years ago, they had this churro at California Adventure that had like lots of bat sprinkles on it.
Oh.
And it had this really awesome cream cheese frosting dipping sauce for it. It was like sugar overload. This was like insane. It was amazing. But I guess more traditional snack, I just really love the pretzels and the cheese dip. Like that's a simple thing, but I really like that. So.
Good answer. Love that answer. I love churros. I always kind of shy away from the fancy ones, but now that you're saying that, I might try that if they have something like that.
Yeah, share it with somebody. It won't be as bad.
Okay, right on. Okay, the next question is: Disneyland better at day or at night? And if it's at night, where do you like to be when it's dark?
Okay, so most of the visits that I went when I lived in LA was I would go on weeknights after work. And so I love the magic of Disneyland at night way more than during the day. And there's nothing better to me than riding Big Thunder Mountain at night when the fireworks are going off. Or for that same comparison, riding the Matterhorn at night with the fireworks going off.
Yes.
Both those are very special experiences.
Okay. Very good answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, one of our logos is it's better at night.
It's better at night. Yeah, that's our tagline. Yeah, that's our tagline.
Cool.
We use for one of our stickers and stuff like that. Yeah. If you were going to take a guest that hadn't been to Disneyland before, and you wanted to show them about Disneyland, what attraction or what themed area would you say this is the thing that most captures what Walt was trying to do with Disneyland?
I'd go straight through the castle into Fantasyland. That to me is, when I think of Disney, I think of animation, I think of the world of fantasy and all of the Disney princesses like Cinderella and Snow White. And I think of Fantasyland when I think of Walt Disney first. And I think of all of the rides. This is probably the line with the most attractions. If you think about it. There's all the dark rides, and then they have Dumbo and Casey Jr. But there's something that's just very quintessential Disney about that whole part of the land that that's where I would, and plus going through the castle as like your first sort of thing. It's nothing that I typically would do as a frequent traveler, but taking somebody for the first time, that would be something I would like to take them through as their first experience.
Awesome answer, dude. We get so many different answers for that, and everyone is so like uniquely cool. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that. So very good answer on that. Okay, so besides Rise of the Resistance, what attraction would you have liked to have been there on opening day for?
Oh boy. Wow. That's a tough one. There are so many good choices.
Well, we only ask the tough questions here, Nicholas.
Yeah, well, it's good to get me thinking here. Oh, man. Well, there's no right or wrong answer because there's so many that I could pick from. But if I had to pick one for the historic personal connection I have, it would probably be the Matterhorn bobsleds. To have been there at the opening of what would, of course, at that time wasn't something that people maybe thought was iconic and historically significant, but to know what that means to people today, I think being able to have said that I was there and been there, you know, boots on the ground day one when that was the only one in the world, I think that would have been a really special experience. Ceremony or not, just being there at a revolutionary time like that would have been a very momentous occasion.
And that was not just the Matterhorn's opening day. Is that correct, Nicholas?
That's correct. In fact, it was the submarine voyage, the Matterhorn, and the monorail system. So it was a very important day, June 14th, 1959.
Look at this guy.
Very important day.
Yeah, very important day in Disneyland history. So very good answer because you get three attractions opening on the same day. Now they could not get away with that stuff today in California, huh?
It's crazy when you think about how long the attraction cycle for a ride is today. It's about the average of 5 years to build something, and then you look at some of the rides back then were built, you know, like not overnight, but like Small World, I think its timeline was like 9 months or something like that. Which is insane to think about.
Yes. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, last question, Easy. Do you collect anything? I mean, as far as Disneyland goes.
As far as Disneyland goes, so in general, I've collected amusement park memorabilia for about 15 years now.
Okay.
That was when I discovered eBay, and then my dad showed me how to use eBay, and then I just went crazy. But I collect a lot of different park stuff, but I do have a lot of Disney stuff. I have a lot of old e-ticket books. I have a lot of the old guides to Disneyland. I have one from 1957, I believe, one of the old guidebooks.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of old glassware from Disneyland. I have a lot of 1964-65 New York World's Fair stuff, which, of course, Disney had their Small World connection and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, all that stuff. It's just a whole potpourri. I have so much. Pretty much anything that's on my walls or on a shelf that's visible is theme park related in some way.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. That is awesome, dude.
It's who I am.
That's great, dude. All right. Well, we want to keep you a bit longer because I know this interview's been going long. I appreciate you hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, I would love to go to the park with you sometime or just to walk around and talk about stuff and do a couple attractions and have some enchiladas or whatever we're going to do.
Oh, man. I get hungry just thinking about it. That would be awesome.
I know.
Yeah, I would love to do that if we could somehow arrange that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
We'll do it.
Okay, so where can people find out more about you, sir?
Yeah, so the best way, as I mentioned earlier, I'm an enthusiast of the industry, but I'm also professionally, my career is in the industry. And so really the best way you can connect with me is you can find me on social media under my name, Nicholas Laschkewitsch. You can also just look me up on LinkedIn, especially if you're interested in working in the industry. I mentor lots of people who are younger than me who want to work in this industry. And so I'd love to talk with people about how you get into this industry, why I love it, why it's fun to be in. And then if you want to see any of my documentaries, I do everything under the banner of the American Coaster Enthusiasts. So you can go to YouTube, look us up. And then lastly, Legacy of Aero, which we've talked about a bunch in this discussion. Yeah. Just go to legacyofaero.com and you can get a direct link to watch the film there. And love to hear what you think. What you think? It was a labor of love. So
yes,
that's
dude.
where you can find me.
Awesome, dude. And listeners, if you want to check him out on Disney Plus, you can do that on Behind the Attractions. He's on 40% of the ones that are there out right now. And Megan, hold on. Let me see if I can do it real quick. It's a Small World, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain. Those are the three I know for sure.
You said Small?
Yeah, Small World, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain.
Yes.
What is the... Star Tours. No. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Not...
You said 4. Okay.
Hold on. Not...
Those are the 3.
I haven't seen the 10th one yet. That's the Great Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of them.
Okay, so
maybe that's why.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's in the first wave. It's in the first wave.
Oh,
Okay.
The first wave. Hold on for a second now. Oh, Jungle Cruise.
No, not that one. The other one. The only other one in the first wave.
Now that you have left. Now I'm just going to bring up my app and look at it.
No, do not cheat.
I'm going to cheat.
So the first we said Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Space Mountain.
Small World.
And Small World, but Small World was the second wave. So no, the first wave was.
I'm realizing now I haven't watched them all.
You need to watch these. Okay, so the first wave was Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Star Tours was in there.
And
what was the last one? Oh my gosh.
It's a big ride.
It's
Matterhorn?
No, not the Matterhorn yet.
Did it cover Matterhorn?
No, not yet.
It's in the Space Mountain episode, but.
Yeah, Space. Wait a minute. What is the big?
It's a very tall ride.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
Terror.
Okay, I haven't seen that one. I made it through Small World because I'm not a fan of that track.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the one I remember the
Tower
most.
of Terror, yes. Okay.
It's very brief. It's the one I'm in the least, but I'm in like a single shot in that one saying a word.
A word.
But it counts. I'm in it. I'm taking it.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. All right, so listeners, go listen to those. Watch the whole series, but specifically watch those 4 if you haven't done it yet, because it's fascinating and it's great when cool people have cool things happen to them, and I'm so happy for you and everything that you've done, dude.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, of course. So, dude, let's chat again sometime whenever you get a chance. And whenever you're not busy,
Absolutely.
Okay. And then hopefully we see you in the parks. We'll arrange something, and hopefully we can meet up sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. And thanks for having me on the podcast. This was a lot of fun. I always love talking about theme parks with anybody. So this was a blast. Thank you.
Awesome, dude.
No, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So that was a really good talk with Nicholas. Yeah, I just one of those guys that now I'm excited to learn more about him and go to the park and just continue on with this Disneyland family we've got going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we say it all the time. I say it all the time, and the LTB family, we are all bounded together by our love of the park and history of Walt and what it means to us. So here's a guy. That, through a chance, like, hey, you want to talk? Mm-hmm. It sounds like, it'd be a fun conversation. And we get him on here. And, I mean, look at the talk we had. I mean, what a fun, just a good time. And so I'm just going to go on this little tiny thing real quick.
Sure.
This is what LTP, the family is, and the family built around Disney and the park is. Mm-hmm. We don't care about a lot of different things. We can disagree about a multitude of things.
Which we do.
We do all the time.
In fact, Udi and I do quite a bit.
All the time. I'm usually right. But that being said, it doesn't matter because look at where we connect.
Yeah.
We find the commonality. We find the bond. And this is one of the many things that I love that we have done, we have built. I think now with this conversation and piggybacking off the other one we had, mm-hmm. they all are kind of that kind of thing where we see the connections. We mm-hmm. find these people. We just find each other, and we kind of just know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we talk. I mean, and I mean, you guys couldn't see it because we had him up on Skype, so we had the video, but. As we're talking and conversing back and forth, he's nodding his head yes as I'm talking or Mark is talking. And then he starts talking and explaining. We're all like, yeah. I mean, so I love that we get the opportunity to talk to people like him.
Yes, for sure.
There is nothing better than finding a common bond with somebody and connecting at that level and just being happy. There. So I appreciated the hell out of that conversation. I think it was fantastic. I think more conversations like that are what we all need right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so happy that we got that we had that. I can't wait for more. I again with Mark and with Jess, I know we all feel incredibly blessed. I know a lot of people are like blessed, and get overusing cliche, but I feel incredibly blessed for the life that I have and the people I've met and the people I get to talk to.
Yeah.
All because of where we are and what we can connect with. So I'm incredibly thankful. That was an amazing conversation. I hope you guys loved that.
Yeah.
Please let us know. We're going to have him back on as often as we can because, again, we made a commitment earlier in the year to be about positivity and happiness because we've been too long without it. So these are all the things that we're going to do to continue to do that. So, again, piggyback of the last one, coming to this one, it's all about connecting with people, connect around the park. We may have our ups and downs, our gripes about the park, this, that, but at the end of the day, we all love it. At the end of the day, we all we all bonded by that. Yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I can't wait to have you back on.
For sure, dude. And that was very well said. The one thing I want to add to that is even though we're talking via microphones and through the internet, that conversation that we had with Nicholas could have 100% been what would have happened if we had gone out for drinks in the park or met some or standing in line at the park.
No doubt. I mean, we could have sat there in any one of the spots. We could have gone and I would have enjoyed or a bar anywhere. Like I could have been down at Uva Bar.
Okay.
Or Ballast Point with a beer in my hand or a shot in my or some bourbon in my hand, just talking Disney with just feeling the positivity behind it.
Yeah.
Is amazing. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just again cool people that we get to meet, and I feel very lucky that we've. Well, blessed is the right word, and luck is also another word that we were able to do. But it's also the fruits of all the work we've been doing.
Oh, mainly you.
Well, all of us. It takes a team to get this thing going, but that this is one of the benefits of doing it is we get to talk to cool people like that. But anyways, LTP, we hope you enjoyed that conversation. We will be doing more of that. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is going to end episode number 139. I know I kind of got confused because we recorded things out of sync, and that was my issue where I forgot the number. But that was 139. 140 is coming up. I think we're going to have a little more Jess coming up in 140. It might be a trip report. I don't know what we're doing yet. We shall see. But anyways... I'm trying to think. You can find us at leavingtodaypodcast.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. Send us an email at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. Udi, where can people find you for more witty banter?
You can find me on my other show, The Mando Show. We just wrapped up a little bit ago the final episode of Bad Batch.
Oh.
We are now going to wait for Visions, and then we'll go there.
Visions.
Yeah, Star Wars Visions. Remember anime?
Oh, yeah, that. Okay, cool.
The anime part.
Gotcha.
And then you can find me there, obviously, and then you can find me on all of my socials. The main one is going to be the Instagram, the IG. It'll be HAXGOALIE, Hacks Goalie. You can also reach me through the email here. But if you hear that IG, DM me. Everybody knows that I respond to my DMs.
Yes.
Every single one. So you can find me there.
For better or worse.
Yeah, always for better.
Okay.
For better.
All right, LTP listeners, thank you so much for listening, for hanging out. We love you. Adventures out there.
See ya.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland is now ended its normal operating day. We hope you enjoyed your visit to the Magic Kingdom and that the memories you've made will bring you back again soon.
Have I been wrong so far?
About what, this or other things?
No, this.
Oh, okay, because there's a list.
No, I've been wrong about other things. I'm not an imperfect man. But have I been wrong about this? I think I've pretty much called it.
Why are you throwing up? You trying to eat all your food before your sister does? Now you can eat that.
Rudy, don't say anything.
What are you doing? Flowers? What? All I need, would be perfect right now?
A Modelo?
No, whiskey. or bourbon. Oh,
I
good
ran that
bourbon.
kind of stuff,
Oh
man.
my God.
You wouldn't be able to sleep. You wouldn't be able to get up.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Dude, bourbon. Impervious to bourbon.
Okay.
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face